Good evening, everybody. Episode 40 of the Drew Pavlou Show, 40 episodes in 40 days. We have a very important episode today. In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing the atrocious Washington, D.C. attack, the terrorist attack that we saw. And as part of that, I'm going to be discussing the very disturbing, comments made by people like Hassan Piker hang on. I could feel the stream beginning. Of course. Thank you, Christopher. Very, very powerful. You should even join today, Christopher, if you'd like. It's always good to have a discussion with people. By the way, guys, I've managed to work out how to put the comments on the screen. So that's always a good thing. They will now be appearing in the bottom right corner of the YouTube video. I think it'll show as well on Twitter. It looks very good. Today's an important episode, though. We're going to be discussing the very disturbing comments made by people like Hassan Piker in the lead up to this terrible attack. A lot of people were supporting terrorist attacks against random people, and that's what we've got to just talk about today. The attack was evil, death penalty immediately for the perpetrator. I think you're right. I can't see how this guy deserves to live after what he did. He's a really sick person. He literally, massacred people in cold blood. Now, let me quickly share the YouTube link around, guys. I have a lot to talk about today. I want to make sure that we've got more people watching. How's the audio? How's the Malachi? I'm banning you from the stream because you're engaging with bad empanada, and bad empanada, persona non grata. Simple as. I got to go, but shalom from Israel, Drew. Love you, bro. Thank you to our Israeli friends. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're against terrorism, and I think terrorism is bad. Apparently, that's a shocking statement, but Malachi says, I never endorsed what he said. Yeah, you effectively were, Malachi. So if you want to engage with bad empanada, no more streams, my friend. I don't agree with the death penalty, except in the most extreme cases like war crimes and crimes against humanity at scale. Listen, this guy, he committed a horrible, horrible crime against humanity, just slaughtering people, a terrorist act in broad daylight. I think it needs to face the utmost consequences. I'm just going to share the stream around with my Discord server. And by the way, today, guys, I was on the Asmongold stream. I got shared there, very powerful. And we'll discuss that. Notice how all the third world are saying not to care about the African genocide of say it's not real. That's the third world is for you. Sup, Drew Army, let's fucking go. Thank you, King. Thanks for joining us. Salute. Should Martin Bryant have been given the death penalty as well? Of course. Why the hell would he not be given the death penalty? Martin Bryant killed more than like 30 people in cold blood. What's the point in keeping him alive at that point? I think like Martin Bryant, Anders Breivik, if you've carried out a massacre, if you've carried out a terrorist attack, I think you deserve to die. Adu received a 2-hour spraying from Friendly Geordies. Should I watch some of that? That'd be interesting. I don't know why they fought, but that's pretty funny to me. That is pretty funny to me. I mean, maybe that's one of those rare circumstances where I'm actually on the same side as Friendly Geordies there. Hassan wiped his Discord again. Yeah, dude, because there'd be so many people in that Discord supporting the massacre, supporting the assassinations. I'm going to get on my screen and we're going to discuss, because it's been a very important. I mean, it's been such a disturbing thing. I'm going to get up the Asmongold stream. Hey, Drew, check your texts. Okay, dude. Critical Geordie support from Drew. I would say that I lend critical support to Friendly Geordies only in the event of him going up against Adu. Oh, I've heard Milat. That's Josh. Okay, yeah, Josh. Maybe you can come on later and we can discuss what happened, because we certainly need a lot of different perspectives. Is Hassan as bad as Phidias? I think they're equally evil. I honestly think they're equally evil. Are you saying Rodriguez deserves the death penalty? You're fucking kidding, right? Why does he not deserve the death penalty? Why does he deserve to live after what he did? Dude, he literally... Did you read what he did? What he did was so sickening. He shot them both in the back, and then while the woman was trying to crawl away in her own blood, he shot her again. He reloaded his gun and shot her again and executed her. Why does he deserve to live after that? Why the hell does Rodriguez deserve to live after that? I'm finally awake for your stream in time, but I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Shay. That's cool. Should allow me on one time. Sure, free October. Are you in the Discord? I'd love to, but unfortunately tonight I need a quiet one with the GF. Being a fucked week for us. Of course, dude. No worries. But later on in the week, we'll definitely have you on, Josh. I appreciate bringing you on as a frequent guest. And if Chris Stewart is still here, I'd potentially like to have Chris on tonight as well. It's always good to have discussions, to discuss these things. It's very important, my friends. And I believe we've got 200 people on Twitter and 25 people on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter, I really highly recommend that you guys go to my YouTube. I've put the YouTube link. There. Go and watch on YouTube. It's a lot easier. It's a lot better. Yeah. Hang on. Let's get up.
Yeah, I want.
This guy's literally the biggest streamer in the world. I know I was clowning on him a couple weeks ago. Now that he's pro Drew, okay, now we're pro Asmongold, I guess. How can we join the Discord? Hang on, I'll put the Discord server link in the comments. Hang on, I'm gonna invite you guys. Guys, yes, very important by Ole. Drop a like. You have to drop a like. If you drop a like, we'll get more people watching. YouTube will recommend to more people. So make sure you drop a like. Make sure you're on the YouTube and you're dropping a like. I really highly recommend you go to the YouTube. By the way, guys, I've dropped the Discord link for people watching. You can go to the Discord link, join the Discord. And yeah, I'll definitely be having more people on the show in the future. Possum says, good morning. Good morning, Possum. I uploaded a video to YouTube on how globalized intifada rhetoric and misinformation like imminent deaths of 14,000 babies culminate in the deaths of the Jewish embassy staff at the For Normal People channel. We'll watch that. I appreciate your consistency with respect to the death penalty. Australia does not have one, and most countries don't. Listen, I wouldn't ever reintroduce it to Australia, but I'm just talking philosophically. If people deserve to die, like Martin Bryant deserves to die, right? Martin Bryant deserves to die. Rodriguez deserves to die. Luigi Mangione deserves to die. Like, these guys carried out terrorist acts. I think if you carry out a terrorist attack, you deserve to die. Possum says, hit the like. Thank you, Possum. Salute to you, my friend. Drew, Asmongold has been cheering on Trump's destruction of the US government 100%. He's a fucking traitor. Okay, listen, I don't support that. I'm anti-MAGA, as you know. The Free Palestine movement is a covert anti-Semitic death cult. I mean, is it covert? And let me clarify here. I'm not talking about ordinary Palestinians. I'm talking about the activists in the West. I mean, the activists in the West are so thoroughly anti-Jewish. They're so blatantly genocidal at this point. Remember, guys, if something is popular, like the case with Luigi, he'll 100% jump on board and take partial credit. But if people aren't happy, he'll either denounce it or claim it was a false flag up. That's the sign for you. Drew, what's your stance on Asmongold right now? Oh, look, I'm obviously anti-MAGA, so I obviously don't like Asmongold if Asmongold's MAGA. I have to be honest, I've never actually watched him. But apparently he put me on his stream today, and we'll watch that. Appreciate you covering this, Drew. The moral consistency is very important, much needed. I mean, it's just sick, guys, what happened. Like, Shad, you're one of the best force on X Twitter. Please do not support him on that platform. Do you mean Asmongold? Okay, dude. Listen, I'm not pro Asmongold. I'm just pointing out. I mean, he obviously shared me today. I'm trying to find it in his video. We'll find it. I mean, just in general, I mean, his takes on Hassan, I think, are correct. I mean, Asmongold said that Hassan was encouraging people to kill people. And I think Asmongold on that narrow thing is factual. Hey, Drew, would you ever consider a training course with Robert O'Neill? Robert O'Neill, are you talking about the guy who did Osama bin Laden? Asmongold is the buttock man. Yes. For clout-chasing murderous lunatics like Bryant, living can be a worse punishment than death. Today, he lives in a hell of his own making. mean, true. That can be true. Drew, why do you like sloppers like Avi and Rukshan that are MAGA wannabes? I disagree with their MAGA takes. Asman is right on Hassan, but that is just obvious. Yeah, I know, exactly. Like, look, 95% of people could be correct on Hassan. And look, I don't really like Asmongold, but on the narrow thing of like anti-Hassan Piker action, yeah, we're all on the same fucking page there. Listen. I'm trying to find the part where apparently he mentioned me. Hang on. Oh, hang on. I'm sending Chris my link. Hang on to the StreamYard. 1 second, Chris. Hang on. I'm sending it to you, Chris. By the way, guys, what do you think of the setup? It's a nice setup right now. We've got the lighting on. O'Neill is a walking controversy. Are you talking about the guy who did Osama bin Laden? Asman has never been right. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. I mean, he's right on the one thing, which is Hassan Piker. I mean, literally anybody can be correct on that issue of Hassan Piker. If you're just against Hamas and Hezbollah and you're against like fucking terrorism, then yeah, you're fucking right on Hassan Piker, right? Where's this part where apparently, I don't know, he apparently mentioned me, but I don't know where. I think he just like read out one of my tweets or something like that. By the way, we should look at the guy's Twitter. For the tankies and commie progressives, moral consistency is a joke. It's just a spectrum to them. Everything is justifiable, and there are no real standards. Exactly like the MAGAs. Yeah, dude. Exactly. They just straight up think that all their political enemies deserve to die. This Freddy guy sounds like a terrorist. I don't know who Freddy is. He's a real definition of a broken clock. Yeah. Look. Asmongold, broken clock once a day, I guess. Okay.
Probably stop advertising. This is probably going to cause more damage to Twitch's advertising than anything has previously.
Dude, I think it's correct that this is going to be a big problem for Twitch. I think it's going to be a big problem for Twitch because, like, look, objectively, people like Hassan were pro what happened. It's like there's like a whole fucking audience of people who were supporting what happened with the terrorist attack. It's like a whole crew of people: Hassan, Frogan, all these people. Bookcase background, 10 plus aura, facts. If Hassan Pike was smart, he'd create his own brand of dodgy food like Mr. P. He could sell Hassan Pikelets. Good idea, actually. That's a good business idea. Hassan is becoming more and more of a liability to Twitch as the conflict progresses. Yeah, dude, I honestly think it's going to backfire. I think it'll backfire on them.
That's it. It was tipping now. Yeah, I said it was going to happen. And there you go. And Sam responded. No, I'm sure he did respond. I mean, definitely he did. But let me see what I will look at what he said, and we'll see what he said. Let me go back over and see what the message is. Israel is as you know.
By the way, guys, what do you think of the chat box on the screen? I'm really happy I worked out how to do that. It's a lot better, I think. I was arguing with Dad today, and it was like talking to a MAGA version of Hassan. What are your thoughts on Jake Tapper's new book and CNN's efforts to shill it? I mean, just cringe, right? I mean, they had all that information and they just sat on it. That's fucking cringe. I mean, they helped the Democrats lose. That unfortunately, the mainstream media fucked it for everyone. I hope Twitch takes a hit. That site is garbage terrorist recruitment at this point. Yeah, guys, listen, I've got I stream on Twitch, multi-streaming, but I fucking don't really like Twitch. I mean, I am mainly focused on YouTube. Somehow MAGA can be sold that there is a genocide in South Africa and not Gaza. I mean, I think both are not technically genocides. There is a lot of racial violence in South Africa. And listen, there's a lot of extreme hatred on both sides in Israel, Palestine. Stream looks way nicer. Thank you, King of Corinth. Yeah, I'm very happy. King of Corinth, I haven't seen you on some of the recent streams. Looks good, but more contrast to easily see the words. Yeah, I don't know how to fix that point. Hang on, I've got Chris here. I'm going to add him on. Hello, Chris. How you going?
Oh, good evening, Drew. How have you been?
We got an Asmongold stream today. That's pretty good.
I did see that this morning. It did appear in my feed.
It is pretty good.
Yeah,
it is pretty good. It's so good that I've worked out how to put the chat on the stream, but I don't necessarily know. It's in beta, I think. So I don't know how to make it bigger.
Well, I think the intent behind the chat on stream would be to move the super chats down the bottom, and then to have that the floating
Well, I think
transparent
StreamYard
text.
only
will
just.
be-
I
Okay,
think
yeah,
I think StreamYard only just made it a new feature, so it's like I
Mm.
don't know how to make it bigger or like highlight stream like
look,
super or anything
it's
yet.
fine. Look,
But it's
if
good.
it's something that's
It's a lot
collating all
better.
the
It's a lot
chats.
better. What do you say?
Look, if it's something that's collating all the chats, that's
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. The mainstream media loves Trump. They love. Yeah, they do have a symbiotic relationship. That's true.
they've had a symbiotic relationship for years.
Yes, absolutely. Haven't
They
been
were
around,
almost
had fun.
bereft when he wasn't there with what to talk about.
Yeah, they were actually. They were like it's kind of there in the It's kind of there in how much they hated Biden, right? Like they were like, give us back the fucking orange man because they wanted
They wanted constant drama. There's many such
wanted the
cases.
drama.
They just want constant drama of Trump doing stuff rather than like
Western
a
hegemony.
sleepy old man.
Like I'm just going to respond to Western hegemony. Enjoy. I know there's obviously a lot of violent crime in South Africa, and like a lot of it is not racially motivated. Like there are very high crime rates in black areas, of course. But look, some of the farm attacks in South Africa undoubtedly have a racial element. And when you've got like Julius Malema running around saying like kill the Boer, like what do you think people are going to think, right?
Yeah, I can come in on this one.
Yeah. What are you going to say, Chris?
The way that the farm attacks are carried out and this is not a violent attack for a piece of property. It's not like they're mugging them. They will basically capture them and torture them for hours and hours and do the most horrendous thing.
There's really horrific.
Read the if you wanna be convinced, like if you wanna maybe change your own mind or just like have a look at only a few because they are really horrendous. And I've been on the internet since I was 9, and it's
we're not going to be watching Farm Attack on the stream, Chris.
But it's horrible.
No, it is horrible. I just obviously it's like a fiction book, but I just finished Disgraced by James Coetzee, and I finished it the second time.
Yeah.
And that book centers on a farm attack, and it's like horrific. And you know, the interesting thing is Coetzee's literally a progressive writer. He was anti-apartheid his entire life, but he moved from South Africa to Australia, and I think like one of the things he basically seems to have thought in his
many such cases I hear among South Africans,
But it does seem that one of the things he thought was that like there's not really like a place for whites in South Africa. Like that's James Coetzee, who's like a progressive writer. It's a very depressing thing. This guy says, my father is a Boer. I know about the situation in South Africa. Listen, I know obviously there's heaps of crime. There's also a lot of non-racially motivated crime. I mean, King of Prince says I have family in South Africa as well. Look, the general situation's fucked there. The general situation's fucked. And look, as King of Prince says, it's like when these instances of crime occur, obviously part of it is, motivated by wealth inequality and stuff, but there is an element of racial hatred. And when you have like Julius Malema filling out like whole stadiums saying kill the Boer, like people are obviously going to see a racial element towards a lot of these attacks, right? But I was thinking, hang on, we'll watch the Asmongold thing.
Self-reflection.
And then after that, let's go through the big news from today. And just all the lefty streamers who encouraged fucking assassination.
So the last previous thing that he retweeted about me was also about me. Let's see here. Israel is an apartheid state doing a live stream genocide. I think it's wrong and dangerous to conflate these heinous actions with Jews. The Apartheid Defense League doesn't because they think they can improve Israel's standing by silencing its critics. It won't change the truth. This is not really true. The fact is that whenever you openly platform terrorism, you say that you don't have a problem with terrorist organizations that want to kill Jewish people. This is going to increase the rhetoric. This does turn up the
I actually agree with him there. He's actually
that's what happens.
True there.
I mean, it's again for somebody to blame Hassan is unfair, but for somebody to say that Hassan has not been a radicalizing force in causing these people to be more extreme, I think you're being delusional.
Yeah, he has been a radicalizing force.
That's it. Not even condemning that. Yeah, exactly right. Not even condemning him. And so anyway,
he can't even outright say it's bad what happened. Like it's pretty obvious, guys. Like he was a radicalizing force.
I mean, if you're going to equivocate about something like that, you obviously.
And so, do you think Twitch will forbid politics streams on a platform? There's a chance that could happen for sure.
Watch. Where's the? I'm trying to find the part where.
Avalon 2 is.
I think it might be
it's unpleasant because the thing has them like this on the platform to exist now for years. And so anyway, do you think this will make more people watch them? Well, it will, and those people will be the people that run the advertising companies, and they'll watch them, and then they will.
So happy that we got the comments on the stream.
This is probably going to cause more damage to Twitch's advertising than anything has previously.
Oh, someone's got a comment. StreamYard is killing the frame rate. Really? What's the problem here?
It was tipping now. Yeah, I said it was going to happen. And
pro-Palestine activists do far more to hurt Palestinian sympathies than any Israeli propaganda could dream of. That's like literally facts. To be honest.
You just look at them in just genuinely look at some of the
There you
beautiful
go. Not good,
people that
is it?
attend these protests. It's very bad.
It's
They
like,
stink. Get in the
most
shower
of
very
them-
quickly.
for most of them, they just do it because like they hate their dads.
Yeah, most of
and,
them
like,
do look like. I agree with the chat. Most of them do actually look like Asmon or worse. You know.
Oh, someone's mentioning his son uncritically read the Killer's Manifesto on stream. Should we go and watch that?
And
We can
I'm
watch
sure he
very
did
quickly.
respond.
We'll
I mean,
see.
definitely
We'll
he
watch
did,
the
but, let me
smoke.
see.
Yeah.
I will
Oh,
look
this
at
is
what
the
he
part.
said.
Hang on, this is the part.
And there you go. And Sam responded. No, I'm sure he did respond. I mean, definitely he did. But let me see what I will look at what he said, and we'll see what he said.
This is an interesting comment by Vietran, how he basically says, like EFF is more radical than like ZANU PF, like Mugabe. Like that's pretty scary to think about.
Well, I think EFF are genuinely more communist than ZANU PF were. ZANU
That's
PF
pretty
was very
scary.
much.
Dude, EFF are like actually pretty fucking psychotic.
They're insane. Look, they're insane. And look, if they actually took the country, they would just run it into the ground immediately. Like it would genuinely cause a humanitarian situation, but they would run it into the ground immediately.
It would actually be probably. I think like they are fully genocidal, and you're probably right. Like it would actually probably be worse than Mugabe. Which is scary.
It would immediately turn into a failed state.
They're not going to run the.
Which is
they
where
wouldn't run the country
it is heading anyway. Which is where it is heading anyway.
Oh, it's sad how it is very sad how it's just like slow decline. I'm trying to find. Let's see EFF's results at the last election. We'll watch the rest of the Asmon thing, but so the last election they actually went down somewhat, which is interesting. I wonder what explains that.
There was a lot of movement around in South. If you scroll up to the ANC.
Like a lot of the vote went to Jacob Zuma's Psycho Party.
Yeah,
which is just like straight corruption. Zuma is
the ANC is corruption with like the face of Mandela stapled on the front of it.
Because
Ramaphosa is just like pure corruption
compared to Zuma. Like compared to Zuma, Ramaphosa is like infinitely better. Like, which is crazy, right? Like
sort of marginally, and then EFF is just like the necklacing party. So
like, well, EFF is literally like they just literally sing "Kill the Ball" on the stage. How retarded is it? How retarded is the thing when people go, "Oh, it's just an anti-apartheid song, bro"? Like it doesn't actually.
That's
like
sure, bro.
When they're like, "Oh, it's just a liberation song, bro."
Look,
that is actually one of the stupidest things. Like, bro, they're just thinking about liberation. Come on, bro. Kill the ball.
Look, I love when I did what did I watch that report? I don't know whether it was on. What did I say that? I think it was on SBS or ABC. It's just like, guys, like you're not even like you're just saying they were singing liberation songs in the video. It's just like, yeah, okay, like it's not good. It's the most not a good uncritical. Look. Oh yeah, we're just gonna take what Julius Malema says at face value.
Malema said that. Actually, we should watch some. Oh shit. Okay, let's watch a little bit of Asmongold, then let's watch Malema.
I want to see the evidence. I want to find it. I mean,
where's the
former Twitter accounts of the shooter and the news. This is his. See the. That I'm not really sure. I want to find his account. So username? No. It's like the have
where's this?
Here it is. Attack, and there would be a terror event or something bad would.
Drew, you didn't do your outro your last few streams. I'll make sure to do it this time.
Happen, and it would get blamed.
The fortress of righteousness.
Twitch has allowed radicalism and extremism like this on the platform to exist now for years. And so anyway, don't you think this will make more people watch them? Well, it will. And those people will be the people that run the advertising companies, and they'll watch them, and then they will.
I can still see chat. Did Drew crash? Oh, it looks like it's my show now.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
And
hang on, guys. Sorry, I was fixing the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I want to see the evidence.
Beautiful.
I want to find it. I mean, former Twitter accounts of the shooter and the news. This is his web
we should
archive.
do that, actually.
He changed his handle to Kyle Leather, and someone else registered it. There's that as well of his Elias account. So then we've already found a bunch of information about this at all. And need to get his username.
They called Hassan a gamer. What a sphere.
And I'm sure that the internet can find it faster than since he was posted with evidence of him not owning the account since then. Archive tweets and like the same terrorism supporting gift shit as Kyle Leather. The name change is only part of the Elias.
Where's the? Hang on, where's the?
In main count for happened is that no end or some and the people advertise Yeah, no, I will look at what he
Oh,
said.
hang on.
He did respond. I mean, definitely he did. But let me see what I will look at what he said, and we'll
Yeah,
see
someone
what
says the screen share looks better now. Yeah, I've admin frame rate back to normal. Yeah, sorry guys, I fixed the internet issue.
he said. Let me go back over and see what the message is. Israel is as we know, self-reflection is. This is so the last previous thing that he retweeted about me was also.
Oh damn! I think it's only for like literally a second. That's okay. That's okay.
Oh,
Listen, let's watch,
yeah,
that's so sad.
Beautiful.
That's fucking sad as.
That's it. And see what I will.
Yeah,
look at what
literally
he
just
said,
there for a
and we'll
second.
see
That's
what
so
he
sad.
said.
Okay, let's watch
Let
some
me go
Malema
back.
stuff.
Beautiful. We love Malema. Yeah.
No VAT increase, but there is a
Such a great mind on this bloke. Hey. Okay.
75 billion budget shortfall. How do you move forward?
Well, we've always said that the ANC is stuck. There is no believable program to grow the economy and to create jobs.
Oh, Malema definitely wants to grow the economy. Hey.
And that's why they wanted to go for a shortcut, which to them was automatically
Expropriation
bad.
is truly the best
This is
policy
an
stability.
austerity budget.
Grow the
Works for
economy.
Zimbabwe,
Because
mate.
even where they said we were going to put so much, then worry, but we're no longer putting so much. If you check in the main, it's education, it's health, it's police, it's services that are directed to our people. They said they were going to increase the list of the zero rated.
Drew, drop
Now
a random
they
street
came
view
back
pin
and
on
said,
Johannesburg. Okay, let's actually do that.
They are no longer increasing the list of the
Johannesburg.
zero rated. So clearly,
Let's see like Johannesburg street view. Hang on. Johannesburg. What's funny is how much black South Africans hate other blacks. They hate them just as much as white. It's insane. Dude, like I read somewhere that it's like the deportation capital of the world right now. There's a lot of deportations of black Africans in South Africa.
Zimbabwe. So Zimbabweans and those from further north come through the top. The north.
Okay,
the
let's do street.
Poorly policed.
Let's do street view in the middle of Johannesburg. I mean, look, it's pretty poor, I guess. I mean, it's interesting. Like, I don't know, like that looks. It looks okay, like down here, maybe. I mean, that's a nice building, I suppose. But I mean, yeah, there's obviously like pretty bad poverty here. I don't know. We're just literally going down like random parts of Johannesburg. Oh, that's not good. Obviously, like it's probably not a good sign when you've got like all the street hawkers. I have to be honest. I'd be really depressed if I lived in South Africa. Where else? Where else should I watch? Carlton Center. Let's see Carlton Center. Damn, it's a very interesting thing to look at Johannesburg, but this is obviously like a pretty, I mean, that's literally the CBD shit. I mean, you've got golf course out here. I assume this is probably going to be the richer white areas, I suppose. What should I look at in Johannesburg?
I have no idea.
So these are like,
gated
that's like
community.
gated
Beautiful.
Oh shit.
Yep, beautiful.
Oh my god, dude. Look at the gated communities here. And the bars. Fuck, that's pretty fucking harsh. Oh my god, dude. That's like a fortress. Holy shit. Like, look at everything. Everything's just like, wow. People do say, I've got a comment here saying, look at Cape Town, magic of the Democratic Alliance. Yeah, the Democratic Alliance, the Drew Pavlik Democratic Alliance.
They stole it. They stole it.
Yes, they stole it. But maybe I should look at Cape Town, because apparently Cape Town is like a bit nicer. Fuck, isn't it interesting how like every house has like really like mental security fortifications?
That's normal.
Fuck,
that's
dude.
normal.
That's like that's pretty fucking like, that's like hardcore. Damn, and they've all got like pools and everything. Like, so like this is obviously like a wealthier area.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not that there's not wealthy areas. It's just that those that still exist are cut. Totally
Obviously, it's a
surrounded
massive
by
racial
barbed
divide.
wire.
Where's like a poorer area that I should look at? This is what a low trust society looks like. Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts. Should I look at like maybe like the outskirts or something like that? I don't know. Like we've got some guys in the chat who reckon that they know South Africa. Where should I look in Johannesburg? That would be interesting. Have you ever been there before, Chris?
No, I have not. I have not.
I'm not. Would you want to go?
It's probably not the part. It's probably not the part of Southern Africa I would go to, and not because like I'd be more likely to go to Botswana or something if I was going to go. But no, next up is Europe, and then I think 2026 is Mongolia or Uzbekistan.
Mongolia would be goated actually.
Yeah,
Soweto. We'll look at Soweto because Soweto is like a very poor. Bro, please tell me you know what people mean when they say low and high trust society. What do you mean by that? No, but like it is a thing. Like, you know, there are societies where, you know, you can trust that people aren't going to just like, yeah, steal stuff off you. I think that's a real thing. It's not like race necessarily. Like there are white societies that are low trust societies.
Yeah, Bosnia.
I don't know. Like Russia is a fucking low trust society, and they're like
Yeah,
white
there are many. There are low and high trust doesn't necessarily mean what. I mean, you know, Japan.
Yeah, I don't
is
think
not
it's like a
white.
race thing.
Japan is not white. It's
Like,
incredibly
Eastern
high
is-
trust society. Unless
Yeah,
you're-
that's a good point.
unless
Dude,
you, unless
is
you're leaving the
much
umbrella
higher
somewhere.
trust.
Yeah, like unless you're
Japan's
leaving your
much higher
umbrella
trust than
outside the
us.
7-Eleven, you're like, you can leave.
Like
shit.
I wouldn't leave my phone. Like Australia's relatively high trust, but I wouldn't like leave my phone out on a table or whatever. You could probably do that in Japan, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do it here, and I would do it on. I would definitely do it in Japan. You know, and it's a sliding scale, right? It's a sliding scale, and it is more local, right? You know, I'd be more, you know, I'm not going to leave my phone out in the center of Melbourne necessarily, but you know, in another suburb of Melbourne, I might be very happy to.
I like this guy King of Corinth. He's like this guy King of Corinth is literally like, I'm African, and it has nothing to do with race. Damn, so you still have nice houses and stuff, but then, gee, there's a lot. Is it the inequality is pretty crazy? Like that's not a nice way to live. Like same thing here. 10 years ago in Vietnam. It's way better these days, especially in big cities. Vietnam has like done a lot better in recent years. Like pretty impressive. Like what it's like in Vietnam. I do want to go to Vietnam actually. What's like a part of Soweto that I should look at? Like, because I am interested in seeing like poor areas and stuff. It's interesting. I guess anywhere that has like a golf course, you know, is going to be like obviously like very racially divided and like rich.
I don't know. I'm not South Africa's top suburb raider. I can't.
Damn, I mean that's a pretty fucking good house. But the way everything is just like the way there's dirt everywhere in South Africa makes me really depressed.
Well, I think the two most depressing things are the like intense securitization of anything that isn't trashed.
Oh, that would be
Right?
scary to
That's
live like that, to be honest.
That's a little bit like that's unpleasant.
But there's massive gang warfare problems in like Soweto though as well though. Like it's not like just white people who are like subject to violence, and obviously. But how do I get this shit off the screen? Fuck off. Oh. Anyway, I mean that's South Africa. Let's go back to Malema videos.
Yeah, beautiful.
I do not disagree with you. I'm just pointing out how it sounds. I think a lot of people on Twitter use it as a racist dog whistle. But I think it does exist, though. Like, Japan is a high-trust society, and it's not a white society. Hedry, what do you think about decentralized social media, namely Farcaster, which is based on Ethereum and or Blue Sky? I don't like Blue Sky. Like, I think Blue Sky is a bit cringe. I don't like the people there that much, I have to say.
Look, Blue Sky is bad. Nothing will beat Instagram Threads, which is funny because Instagram Reels is the exact opposite.
Actually, Oddlots. I do like Oddlots. Actually, oh, this is interesting. Louis Theroux meets the Boer leader.
But you can have Johannesburg.
So this is the guy who was the leader of. Was this the guy who was the leader of the AWB, which is like that sort of like neo-Nazi South African organization?
I don't know.
That can never be a Boer.
What about if you
Look, obviously I'm against the neo-Nazi guy, but like
this is ridiculous. I mean,
a Boer is an ethnic group. A Boer is an ethnic group. Like a Boer is an ethnic
English
group,
South
obviously.
African who is just as
Like an English, yeah, exactly. Like an English South African can't be a Boer, obviously.
Yeah,
Like even if they can speak Afrikaner, they're not a Boer.
they're not a Boer. No, but Boers are a distinct ethnic.
It is a bit dumb how like
partially religious and linguistic group.
it is
like-
pretty dumb. I think how
but Drew, I mean, in context, this is clearly much closer, to 1994 than it is to 2025. I think that's the. I think this is when people were starry-eyed.
You mean like this is when everyone was like idealistic?
Like, oh wow, South Africa, I think up until
I was just gonna say it is actually sad
because football World Cup, right? And it's like, oh wow,
Yeah,
beautiful
true.
rainbow
No,
nation.
I was gonna say it is actually sad because I remember like growing up, like South Africa was supposed to be like really inspiring story, but like I don't think anybody could see it as inspiring today.
It's inspiring
At
when the power goes out 6 hours a day, if you think about it.
Like
You just have to think
it's so
about it
obviously
really
not inspiring
hard.
right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
sad.
genuinely run by.
I find it sad.
Whenever you see somebody make claims in the media or online, and they call it a kleptocratic government, it's nothing, because just look at, if you want to see true kleptocracy at work, it is South Africa, and the continual looting and the placing of party cadres inside of much of the South African state institutions that still remain.
Oh, it's sad that the ANC has become so corrupt. Obviously, it's really fucking sad. Actually.
Drew, I don't want to disappoint you, but
no. I know Winnie Mandela had like a very bad reputation for violence and stuff, but I think like Nelson Mandela overall was like a good bloke. Like I don't think he was the same as like Winnie.
Yeah. Okay.
He didn't. Like,
we've had this debate before.
I know like Winnie objectively did necklacing and stuff, but I don't think like Nelson Mandela engaged in that type of behavior.
Nelson Mandela did engage in. I'm not going to draw equivalences today, but Nelson Mandela certainly wasn't as clean as he was scrubbed up to be, and Winnie was abysmal.
Are you thinking of like the fact that they did sabotage bombings and stuff like that? Like, but that's different.
The sabotage bombings, so the what you'll call sabotage bombings, which did kill innocent people, and so in some cases they weren't meant to, but nonetheless, if you go out there and you plant bombs in places, it is not. It is reasonably foreseeable that you will catch people who weren't intended to be.
What I was going to say though, Chris, is I know like the leftists love to go like, oh well, Nelson Mandela was like supposed to be a terrorist too, therefore Hamas is good. But like, there's obviously such a massive distinction.
No, Mandela was also a terrorist.
No, dude, but like
my response to that is no. Yeah, they both. Yeah, they are reasonably
massive. Dude, they didn't go on like massacre fucking rampages like Hamas did.
What do you think decolonization looks like, Drew? Do you think it looks like essays?
No, I genuinely think like it is actually a big distinction. Like I think Hamas like fucked up massively by just going on like a massive rape and murder rampage in like a single day. Because it just like confirmed like all the worst fears of all Israelis, right? Whereas like Nelson Mandela's whole thing was like, we will be the rainbow nation. Like it's a big distinction. Yeah,
that was after they put him in prison for 20 years. And that was,
you know what I mean?
And that was his path to power.
Okay, but do you know that there was no like October 7 though in like South Africa?
There was no October 7 because South Africa is a fundamentally different situation. Now, in saying that doesn't mean they are directly equivalent, Drew. But it does mean that they there is that same root of violence. I mean, you see that much in Malema, and you saw that much in the prosecution of other wars within Africa by, in Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, you saw exactly the same thing. Now, in South Africa, the process has been slowed somewhat, but eventually it will, they're not doing ethnic cleansing, but you can see in the media through Malema that they are laying that ideological groundwork.
Let's watch some of this stuff. I actually haven't seen Malema in Parliament before.
I don't know whether members want to play politics. Firstly, people every day say something about President Zuma in this country. Should I stand every day, take everybody to court? You say a lot of things about me. Should I do so? If I were, you can take me.
The uniforms, dude.
to
No,
God. You can
Beautiful,
no,
yeah,
He actually is a maniac.
Answering
This is
you,
not your house.
Honorable
Ngathi
Malema.
wakhuluma ngathi usendleni yakho.
Point
This
of
is not your
Honorable
house.
Malema,
This is
it's not
parliament.
your
Fucking
turn.
Sakhuluma mo.
Honorable
Sakhuluma yini?
Malema.
Rakhuluma le
Point
lina
of
mo.
order. Honorable
Everyone
Malema.
speaks here. This is
the
our house.
question.
No,
You
Honorable
can-
Malema, you
You
have
can
asked
take
your
action
question.
against me. You can take action against
Dude, critical support to Jacob Zuma there. Like that's how bad that's how bad fucking Malema is. Malema is so bad that we're literally giving critical support to fucking Zuma there. What else do we want? Oh, I could...
I've got a very close personal relationship with the president. And we don't stay far from each other, by the way. The other day I was driving myself and he was walking. And then I saw him. I parked right next to him. If I wanted to kill him, I could have killed. I could have killed that guy. So I open a window. When I open a window,
dude, he always loves talking about killing people.
He's a very sane and stable individual. I mean, I think he's sane. I just think he's evil.
But what else should we watch? What are some other funny ones? Oh yeah, let's.
Your parents have left you a bad name. So that is the context I'm using it. So please, if you are going to be a legal representative, you are going to have to reduce yourself from this case as an individual. Remove your emotions and deal with me as a professional. Because if you are going to come to me as a personal person, individually, I will no longer look at you as a professional. I will decisively deal with you as an individual. I'm going to be president of this country.
Holy
whether you
fuck,
like
dude.
it or not. And I will preside over the affairs of this country, including presiding over you. I think you must start adjusting to that reality. The sooner you do that, the less
Beautiful.
chest pains you'll have when that reality
The
comes.
menacing tone of it is so good.
What chest pains would result?
Racist chest pains. Your parents.
What else should we see?
I mean, have you actually
Mbeki was
played?
the-
Have you played
Mbeki
the
was the
kill the
psycho-
ball chant in the?
Mbeki was the psycho one who believed that HIV/AIDS was fake, right?
Which one? That's
think it
many
was.
of them, Drew. That's not just one.
No, but I'm pretty sure that was Mbeki, the South African president, who believed that it was fake. Yeah, Mbeki, and then of course he's praising him. So schizo. Mbeki was like actual fucking disaster. I think they did a study and like 350,000 people probably died of AIDS because of what he did.
Moral.
I'm not
Very
scared of
good.
nothing.
Honorable Malema.
I'm not
Honorable Malema. Honorable Malema.
The Honorable Malema.
nothing. Inconsistent.
Honorable Malema, please take your seat. Yes, what are you rising on, Honorable Member?
Can all of you just sit down, please? I want you to raise the order.
Hey man, I'm not going to sit down. Man.
Sit down.
I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to sit down.
Please proceed.
Yeah, I'm standing here so I can irritate you. You can be emotional anyhow you want. There is nothing you can do. I'm in charge.
Holy
So
shit,
I'm
dude.
running this house, you see.
I'm
He's
the
kind of
Casanova.
funny.
You can get
He's kinda
angry
funny.
and stand
He's a
up
bit funny,
and
but he's
sit
obviously
down.
psychotic.
Honorable
Oh, yeah.
Member Malema, we are
Honorable
not running
Member
the House.
Malema.
Please proceed with the speech.
It is your
Because you cannot just come and announce that
Comment here: 2035 will have the Honorable Van der Lam arguing with the Honorable Sewell in the House. No, that's not going to happen.
this is what is going to happen in a democratic parliament. So please put that proposal on the table and then let's discuss it. And
Kill the Ball. Let's listen to his Kill the Ball song.
Shoot to kill.
Holy shit,
Oh.
dude.
Shoot to kill.
Fucking hell.
Kill the poor.
So- just the resistance song, my friend.
Kill the poor. The farmer.
So fucking good, though. Where's the actual Kill the Boa song? I want to find that. Oh, he said he was saying kiss the boa.
Of course, you're saying kick.
shoot to kill.
Shoot to kick. Shoot to
It's
kick
like
is what he meant.
Wait, let's see what he said. This is actually so mental. So this is his televised trial.
shoot to kill. It's self-explanatory.
Shoot to kill. All right.
Yeah, it is self-explanatory, actually.
Pretty simple,
Kill.
mate.
Kill
What
a
is-
man.
Shoot to kill, kill a man.
Shoot to kill Nyamazan. So Nyamazan is an animal. So when we say shoot to kill Nyamazan, we are commanding Nyamazan to shoot and kill.
It's so dumb.
You can
You
say
also want me to interpret the language you hear.
yes, just so we're clear. What are you saying in that?
Kiss the Boer.
Kiss the
farmer.
ball. Holy shit.
Oh
dude.
yes, so
But
true.
it's
This is
English.
very powerful.
It is?
Yes.
Actually, such a piss take.
And what does that mean?
It means kiss.
Holy
Kiss how?
shit, dude.
Mwah.
Holy shit, dude.
Even the
It
chorus.
means-
Just how?
Mwah.
Fucking mental.
To my mind, if you say kiss,
It's a shame that he's a fucking funny guy because he's a genocidal maniac.
He is funny.
Boer.
Like, I get it. I
He's
get it.
funny, but he's
I-
evil as
I-
hell.
but you still
Holy shit. I meant kiss. Holy fuck.
say shoot to kill, it still is hate speech.
Kiss the ball. Fucking hell.
However, if you just blatantly say kill the Boer, then you don't even have that argument to fall back on.
No, the message in the chant is very clear. Shoot to kill, kill. Nyamazan means shoot to kill the enemy forces who are standing in between us and our freedom. It was very
So
clear. that.
bullshit, dude.
And then the kiss is exactly that.
And then he says kiss. Fuck
It
off.
means kiss the Boer, kiss the farmer.
Kiss the
Because
farmer.
I know when I say that, you are going to take offense. You know why? Because you don't want a black person kissing a white person.
Oh, holy fuck,
It's an
dude.
immoral act. According to the immoral
Wow,
act
this
of
is actually
foreign
truly-
apartheid.
Okay,
Even
enough
to
Malema. I love
embrace love and
enough
kissing.
Malema. Let's.
He's saying to embrace love.
He's funny. He's
Black
funny.
woman
But
is
like,
white
you know,
people,
I can
it's
watch
a
some Malema
criminal
comedy
offense.
special.
I know that the
You know what?
racist
Actually,
will
yeah,
still
that would be
offended.
no. Just
I-
yeah, I want to respond to this comment. Yeah, no, Julius Malema
called-
probably. Yeah, he kind of got that Dutton vibe going. He kind of looks like a black Dutton. If you just
He'd probably
go back a couple
he'd
of
probably
seconds.
do
through.
better than Suzanne Lay. Literally just like parachute him in and like he'd probably win more seats than fucking
Well, I mean,
Suzanne
what do
Lay.
you think they're saying? What do you think they're saying at Liberals? Shoot, Tim Wilson, shoot to kill the Nats.
Dude, he'd probably actually have done better than Dutton at the last election. Like everyone would just
But he
be
does
asking,
kind
like,
of. Okay, can we get a side by side comparison of Dutton and Malema for a sec? Like look, that same profile. I mean, I'm serious. Get it, Drew. Get it up. Drew,
Hang
get
on,
up. Get up, Dutton.
Dutton. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna get Dutton up.
Okay, but I want a
Actually,
side profile.
Yeah, it's
You see what I mean?
Yeah, no, that actually does look a little bit similar if you think about it.
That's
Yeah, dude. Julius Malema.
much to think about. Much to think about.
Holy shit. Yeah, dude, look at this. Wow. That's fascinating actually.
These are
He probably
top.
would have
tier.
won more
These are-
seats. Literally wouldn't even
I mean,
had to
but
change
Malema
any of the
did-
policy
did-
platform.
Wait. Okay, so
He could have just literally stood up there and be like, I'm gonna kill the whites. And then people would still be like, oh, it's pretty funny. Like,
no,
like you know.
So look. I'm dead certain some Liberal Party voters would still go for it. What did he say? Oh,
Who would be the Liberals who still vote for Julius Malema as the Liberal leader?
no comment. The ones in nursing homes
Just
who
the rusted
don't
ons,
engage
mate.
with the
The
media,
rusted ons.
and then probably the mods.
Wait,
I'd
which
say probably
ones?
the mods. The mods.
The mo-
That's progressive. That's
rusted ons.
progressive. Yeah,
It
that's
is
what-
progressive,
you know,
actually. Well, Menzies
I
talked
can-
about it. Menzies talked about it, right?
It's a big.
That's what
tent.
Menzies
It's a
meant
really
when
big
he-
tent party.
It's,
if you think
it's a
about
big
it.
tent party.
Big tent.
By the way,
they're
this is
gonna,
fucking
they're gonna
mental.
capture. Yep.
Have a look at this.
Okay.
Data suspected terrorist Elias Rodriguez was invited to Trump address by left-wing Democratic lawmaker. Normal as.
Beautiful. He kind of got the Hassan beard going on, but he's really fat.
No, dude, he looks like Empanada. He literally does look like George Ganitis here.
No. George looks. Mr.
Kiss the
Ganitas looks a
boa.
little different.
Kiss the
Kiss
boa.
the boa. The boa. Yeah.
Shoot to
I'm
kill.
glad that we've got- I'm
Kiss
glad
the
that we've got
boa.
a new focus in today on this Friday stream.
Kiss the boa.
Kiss the boa. Kiss the boa.
I meant kiss the boa.
Terrorist accused of fatally shooting 2 Israeli embassy staff.
You know what was so funny? Did you see this part, Chris? Hassan was like, bro, it has to be a false flag. Just think about it, bro. Like the way he did it, it looks so bad for us. And it's like, dude, it's just because your movement fucking sucks. Like that was his cope. He was coping so badly. He was like, oh no, it has to have been, dude, it has to have been like fucking a false flag. It's like, no, that's just the people in your movement, retard.
Yeah, no, this is many such cases. Everybody like there is very little panache, I think, these days with these terrorists. You know, these are not good. You know,
they're not smart people. I'm going to bring up.
I think the general decline over the population of verve, panache, and intelligence also applies to terrorists. You know, this was not 9/11, right? This wasn't even like Red October. Like this wasn't even this was like the German stealing robbing bank. This is just like, oh, I got a gun and I went and shot somebody.
Hang on. Look at very. I need to make a quick observation here. Who spoke at the Oxford Union first, Drew or Hassan? Because it actually was me, believe it or not. I did it before him, which is actually funny. YouTuber and political.
Okay, let's zoom in.
I'm sure the interview will be really unbiased.
Many others in 1946 to traffic in.
It's great to have two unbiased
and for
guests
American
at the
Jews.
Oxford Union.
She's very shiny.
From
she's kind of got
looks
that.
Good, Hassan.
She's got that. She's got that cousin inbred shine on.
Oh no, I disavow that. I'm disavowing. That's fucked up, Chris. That's fucked up.
I don't know.
Luigi Mangione
Britain did not have that
go
issue
and kill
25 years ago.
I don't know.
I'm disavowing. I just think that like Hassan is a terror supporter, literally supports Hamas and Hezbollah, and so of course, like he's going to get some softball questions from
Oh no,
Hijabi.
it's gonna be. Oh, do you think that the Israeli super genocide was very bad or ultra bad? Wow.
Well, that's going to be the question.
That's what a devious line of questioning. I'm sure he's going to trip them up.
Yeah, no, it's obviously going to be a softball question. I don't know. Do you want to watch it? Let's watch a little bit of the Oxford thing. That'd actually be funny, and then we'll watch. And then we'll watch the
just
especially
the interviewer.
Hang on. Okay.
I don't care what Hassan is saying. It really doesn't matter. Who cares?
Although he thinks this is served.
I'm not sure if they actually include the interview. It's a shame. Hang on. Oh, the interview.
He's just coping that he's not Joe Rogan for a sec. I guarantee it's already going to be.
Okay, should we do Q&A or the interview?
Yeah. Let's do the interview. I don't care if the Q&A.
I think that we're priming young men who are already.
Dude, Hassan is definitely like the guy to talk to when you want to know about young men.
In the throes of radicalization due to.
Yeah, dude, he's definitely de-radicalizing young men.
The hopelessness that they feel, who are already very vulnerable into being really open-minded. Dare I say too open-minded to reactionary opinions.
Wow, deep. That's so fucking deep.
No. Can we stop there? I was going to pick on his. Oh, actually, we're going to pick on his point for a second. Yes, this is true. In some ways, this is true. However, I think Hassan's just mad. He gets the shit ones, right? He's just getting like the weak one. He's just getting the very weak individuals, right? If his side had,
Oh, you're talking about you're talking about the radicalized guys that he gets.
Yeah, he gets the shit ones, right? Their manifestos suck.
They're not going to win a revolution, are they?
No, they're not. They will never win. Whether you like it or not, you see, you get people like Adu on one side, and
yeah, powerful.
Big shout out to Percy. I think Percy's going to beat Adu. That's my that's just my feeling.
I think they already had a debate actually.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I don't know if it,
I don't know. Is this as painful as yours?
No, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I haven't watched it, but let's see what the interview says. I'm sure there'll be some very profound questions.
That was a thunderous applause in comparison to Cambridge. I'll tell you what.
So charismatic.
First of all, thank you so much for those remarks. On that note, you've demonstrated a remarkable ability to mobilize your online community For example,
So
you raised
true.
over $1 million fundraised over $1 million for Palestine, over 200,000 for Ukraine. You yourself donated to the UCLA encampment. And young people have been at the forefront of pro-Palestinian activism and other
Wow,
causes
so
as
true.
well. And you've done that uniquely through Twitch and streaming, especially breaking down dire political topics, election updates, and international affairs. So on a broader note, how do you think bridging, the world of Twitch
As I said, it's got to be softball interview questions, isn't it?
I just want to see how
streaming
soft they
with
are.
politics
Because she's currently
has had an
filleting it.
impact on young people, especially on the discourse between left and right-wing discourse.
Ooh, so I think that my little community online is almost like an island in a sea of sharks. For the most part. I think
that my communities and a small oasis of peace in a sea of sharks. So fucking true. Meanwhile, literally, cheers on it. Like literally creates a terrorist attack today. Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. My little
I don't know.
community.
I would have gone for a
to-
sea of small dogs and a cage full of lions, but
So
Listen to this
I
shit again.
think that my little community online is almost like an island in a sea of sharks. For the
So
most
true,
part.
bro. It's just such a uniquely non-toxic audience. Hey, bro.
I think that Twitch has this profound ability.
True, your community is the real island in a community of sharks, isn't it? That's true. That's facts, actually.
To get people to be invested in certain causes. And I would feel
that's the cringest shit I've ever
I
heard.
feel insufficient
A
if
little
I
island in the
spoke
sea of
on
sharks.
all of the horrifying things that happen all around the world and not take some sort of action against it, because sometimes simply communicating these issues is not enough. So
what'd you say?
I've been able to effectively
I believe
use my
Saint Uyghur
audience
is
in that
gonna
regard, and
say,
I worked with a bunch
how
of
do you
other
say that?
content
It's
creators
Saint
as well
Uyghur's
in another endeavor called Creators for Palestine, where we also raised another, I think it was like $2 million for numerous Palestinian charities on the ground. And it's been, I've been tremendously privileged, and I try to use that privilege for good every single day. But
Yeah.
would I say that the
Definitely
entire
for
online
good.
space, especially the entire political arena online, is similar? No, definitely not. I think it's like heavily dominated by a lot of right-wing commentary, and I just try to do my best to fight back against disinformation and
he fights
try
with
to
disinformation.
convince people to see the world in a different way.
So on that note, you referenced that under President Joe Biden, there's actually been an increase of male-centered, and I quote, Gamergate culture war narratives at the forefront.
You should have just let us play the video games.
Can you expand on what that phenomenon means and its implications on political discourse?
Yeah, so I talked about this with Pod Save America leading up to the election as well.
Yeah,
where
Pod Save
I noticed
America, that's going to cut
very
I
intellectual.
think one
for the
day
young
I
men.
saw a tweet.
That's where the young
that
men are
this
going.
guy named Sean Ryan, who's like a
Dude, I never even
CIA
followed
guy.
yesterday
I
because
don't
I
know,
was
he's
fucking
like a
10 when it happened. I still don't even fucking understand it.
he's like one of those like defense guys.
He's always okay.
virtually
Do you want
interviewed
to
every
pause it for a
single
second?
person
I'll
that
tell you
Donald
what
Trump has-
happened.
Yeah.
In a way you understand. A games journalist who gave a fuck about games journalism was sleeping with a dev was sleeping with games journalists.
Right.
And from there you had people like Sargon of Akkad and that milieu, which coincided
Great
with
people. Such great people.
yeah, well, don't you want to get on the Lotus Eaters podcast, Drew?
No, I don't know. He said I'm anti-white apparently, but whatever.
Well, isn't Carl Benjamin 1/8 black? I don't know. Some
I don't know. I don't know this stuff.
No,
Is that
I actually
true? Anyway,
believe
yeah.
this.
Tell
I
me what
believe
happened
this
though,
is the case. I don't know. Look,
Anyway,
this is like there was some more around that, and then it got blamed on sexism. It really didn't matter. Gamergate was merely the match that lit the fire of basically turning on a bunch of very online young men onto the fact that politics was coming for them, whether they liked it or not. It was going to invade their traditionally male space and enforce,
so they were going to
the beautiful
take
logic
away
of
the
diversity
tradition.
onto it.
But
yeah,
they
just
wanted to
like
return to
it was
tradition.
literally Well, no, they wanted some
Because
escapism from what is a reasonably shitty world at times, and that was taken. That is continually being attempted to being taken away by force. Either with
because they
dumping
have
trash,
female characters
making
in the
games
games.
shit. Well, no, it's not having female characters in the games, but like that is part of it, right? That it's not only that they have females in games; it's that the games themselves are shit because they're made by people who are shit. They're like mostly passionless, like schlock projects at this point, and the games that are still pre-existing have had that stuff put into them. That's kind of the gripe there.
I see.
And then further from that, you just have a bunch of political. From that you have a political awakening of a set of people who weren't previously politically awakened.
Drew is a Gamergate veteran. Wasn't Brianna Wu like part of it? But now she's like not like that at all.
Yeah.
But I never knew her on that. Mr. Pavlou, how's the growth? Do you feel confident in becoming a mid-tier streamer? We need Greco-Australian representation. So factually true. Listen, I'm trying to grow it. We started, I think I started about 4 weeks ago. When I started, I was averaging like 15 views. Now averaging about like 30, 35. Like it's slowly growing. It's slowly
on
growing.
YouTube.
Like,
it goes up and down on Twitter. I know.
Yeah, no, Twitter always has more people.
Yeah.
But
they don't give you money
look,
for that,
it's a slow grind. I'm trying to build on. I really want to build it on YouTube because I need to have a backup if my Twitter goes down. But yeah, anyway, let's watch this on. His
pick for his cabinet is just, to give you a better understanding of what kind of content he makes. He had actually overthrown Joe Rogan as the #1 podcast, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Over a better person than Donald Trump is cabinet. One of who's like
Sean Ryan or
CIA guy or something. I don't know. He's like one of those like defense guys. He's virtually interviewed every single person that Donald Trump has picked for his cabinet. It's just to give you a better understanding of what kind of content he makes. He actually overthrown Joe Rogan as the #1 podcast. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I saw the list of podcasts, and I was like, oh my God, every single podcast on here is insanely right wing. All the top podcasts were dominated by like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan. Like Joe Rogan was woke in comparison to the rest of this list, and it blew my mind. I was like, holy shit! Like I just, I can't believe it. And then I looked a little bit deeper, and I shouldn't have, but that was Spotify, and Apple News was Apple Podcast was the exact same. And I was a little bit worried, so I brought it up, especially because in the space that I'm in, there's a lot of center-right, centrist, fence-sitting content creators that find themselves in the throes of right-wing radicalization. Sometimes organically, other times they do it because they know that there's a market for it. But there are a lot of commentary far and half. Car channel, and all of a sudden this guy's like talking about the G-Wagon's history, and then he's like a little bit too enthusiastic. Like, what's going on? Why are you talking about it like that? Or video games obviously is the one that everybody knows, where virtually every single commentator in that space is constantly talking about like there was a black woman on a video game. That's woke. That's DEI. We need to end that. And I think that we're priming young men who are already in the throes of radicalization due to the hopelessness that they feel, who are already very vulnerable into.
There you go with the material causes shit again. He's going to be like, oh, the young men, they just need some more youth spaces. They just need some more, welfare
tables.
Be really open-minded, too open-minded to reactionary opinions.
So just shifting to the election, you and other left-leaning commentators have been vocal in condemning decisions by the Democratic Party in the run-up to the election. You were actually kicked out of
I fully agree with Western hegemony. Enjoy the propaganda, the right-wing bullshit is liberalism, not this terrorist simp weird commie shit. Yup.
And I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. But
we're gonna get some DNC condemnation now.
Pardoning of Hunter Biden, you even called like liberals stupid in the recent video.
Oh wow, bro! Oh bro, how amazing is it? He can criticize the liberals. That's amazing, bro. He's so organic.
You put out about that. So do you think repeated criticisms by prominent left-wing figures cost the party this election, and do you think they deserve it?
No, it's because they ran a fucking ancient, sickly candidate. That could have, and then they had a piece of shit left that lined up behind him. I don't know how that is.
No, dude, it was Hassan who actually personally. Hassan
actually personally put the burn notice out on Joe Biden, on the Democrats. It wasn't the fact that they
true.
were running
That's very true.
An 80 billion-year-old man who was dying of cancer, which they didn't, which they knew, and they didn't.
I still like him deep down. It's a sad thing.
Look, I think he's kind of a funny guy, but he should never have been president. And like. In 2020.
He was obviously too old. It's very sad.
And he certainly should never have even been allowed to run again in 2020, like in 2024. If you take, the.
Oh yeah, no, he never should have even ran. Criticism. Obviously, yeah, he should have just from the start said, "I'm going to be a one-term president." That was where he fucked up, obviously.
of the party were costly to the election. I often think if I had that capacity, because this is something that people say all the time, you're like, you're critical of the Democrat. I'm like, well, first of all, if they listen to me, I think that they probably would perform better.
So true, dude. If the Democrats listened to him, they would have performed better. That's so unbelievably fucking true. Oh no, whoops.
Yeah, the donors would have dropped him like a fuck. Yeah, they would have had $6.
Dude, can you imagine if the Democrats listened to Hassan's fucking advice? Like, just go out there and literally embrace Hezbollah.
Yeah, we should get the Yemeni. We should actually ally with the Yemeni pirates if you think about it. Yeah, Democrat donor class are going to enjoy that. I think not. See that kind of rhetoric's for the Democrat donor class's children, who then get jobs in NGOs later. This is where you missed a trick, by the way, Drew. You should have really gone on the NGO grift. You shouldn't have been so vocal in Amnesty before you got a position of power.
Shit, my mic was off. My mic was off. Damn it. Hang on, let me fix that, guys. No, dude, the NGO industrial complex makes me want to kill myself. I got kicked out of Amnesty because I couldn't keep my mouth shut. They're so fucking shit.
Yeah,
Hang on,
but
guys.
it's full of people who hate you. It's full of people.
Yeah, they hate
you go
you.
into
They wish
places
you
where
were
people
dead.
hate you, and then you're surprised that they hate you.
We were dead. They wish that we were dead. Like even before October 7th, it's like they thought I was like a fucking Zionist or some shit. Like I just gave off like bad vibes because I was a fucking straight man.
You gave off like beyond like 200 nanograms of testosterone per like.
You know what's funny, Chris? Like back in 2020, I was like literally greeny. I was actually like way more lefty. I basically had Hassan style politics, and like even then, like the left would be like, oh,
I have remained studiously consistent
He
throughout
actually
that
has a
time.
cock. What did you say?
Yeah, and I've remained studiously consistent for the last like 6 years.
But isn't it funny though that like even when I basically had like Hassan gay politics, like I basically like I never painted my nails, but like that's basically borderline where I was in like 2020, like Hassan Piker, like soft boy shit, and like even then, like they were like lefties who'd be like, Drew's just a bit problematic. Like it must be like, dude, even when I was trying my best, like I was trying to bury my fucking like testosterone within myself or whatever. Even then I had too much of a cock to be on the far left or whatever.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird though? Don't you think it's funny that like even when I was basically borderline the type of guy who would like paint his fucking fingernails to be like cooler girls like Hassan, even when I was doing that, I still had too much testosterone. I was still problematic for the left.
Yeah, maybe she'll take me back if I paint the nails.
That's
you know,
like
and
that
you know,
was like
and you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about.
Disaster, dude.
That was a very bad. Just to respond to chat for a second. What do we think of Rukshan's defense of Australian and the counterpoint by?
Look, I think Rukshan is too much of a tabula rasa blank slatist. I still think Rukshan is an Australian by assimilation. I just think like when he goes, oh, there's basically no definition other than citizenship. I think that's silly because like clearly like there are people who are citizens, but like if they have full supporters of like Hezbollah and Hamas and shit like that and ISIS, like how can you say that they're like a true blue dinky D Aussie? Like it's a bit fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
so I think Rukshan is actually like too much of a blank slatist on that thing. But I would still say Rukshan is an Australian by virtue of the fact that he's assimilated by culture. But obviously like both Rukshan and me are not ethnically European Australian. I mean, no,
Yeah,
I'm European.
I think that's.
but we're not. We're both not. I'm European, but I'm not like ethnically Anglo-Australian. Obviously.
No, you're not. You're not Anglo-Celtic, and that's that's what it is. But
I'd say that like by culture I'm pretty assimilated, but like I'm not actually like. I think it'd be cringe for me to go around going like I'm an Anglo like skippy Aussie, like, and I've never done that.
Yeah, and
like I'm patriotic and I love Australian stuff, but I've never hidden the fact that like I'm Greek, right? Like I'm Greek by ethnicity. I think like I think that's actually the ideal, right? Instead of trying to be like I am an Anglo-Australian skippy, like you literally have like Jim Salim types, right? Like the Jim Salim guy is like literally lesbian. No, not lesbian. He's Lebanese. Jim Salim, Jim Salim, the Lebanese neo-Nazi in Australia. And he just like hates the fact that he's Lebanese, obviously, and like just hides it and everything. And it's pretty funny. Like I'm Greek, dude. I'm Greek. Like I'm ethnically Greek, although I'd say culturally I'm Australian. But yeah, I think
Have you
Rukshan
taken the
is.
23andMe yet, Drew? Do we see how Turkish?
What'd you say?
Prove the haters right or wrong, and taking the
What do you say?
23andMe.
The 23andMe test. I actually haven't done that yet. I actually will do it. I will do it actually.
I think that's a funny bit. You can either prove the haters right or wrong, or you can say that you're more
that would be a
Turkish than
funny
the
video.
sun,
I
and that
honestly,
he would be your Catamite. You know.
No, I think my guess would be that I'd have some amount of like Lebanese and Armenian and stuff like that in me. I reckon there might be like, I don't know, a tiny amount of like maybe like 3-4% Turkish, maybe. But like at the same time, dude, like if a Greek woman converted to Islam, she was considered Turkish, and she was like kicked out of like the Greek community. Like, and like the Ottomans considered them to be like, yeah, part of the Islamic community. So I can't see how like I would have been brought up within like a sort of Greek Orthodox, Greek Christian community, given that fact, right? I don't know. Like I'm getting all these cringe artists going like Drew is fully black, Drew's Turkish and shit.
Yeah, Drew. No. Drew's gonna find out he's 5% Jewish and make a liar immediately. Get that. Get the big Mossad, the real Mossad funding.
No, I don't think so. I don't think. No, it's interesting. I would suspect that there'd be some like Eastern Mediterranean in me, because I've looked into the history of Cyprus, and there were actually like there's waves of migration from like the Armenians. There's waves of migrations, like there's some Egyptian migration. There's a lot of contact with Lebanon. There's obviously contact with Turkey. Interestingly enough, there's actually like Italian Venetians who run the island for a while and stuff like that. I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't know. I think, but you know, I've asked both sides of my family, and like everyone's basically like, look, as far back as we can record it, like we've been always Greek Cypriot, and so I don't think it would be that much. I mean, I'm definitely not someone who thinks that, like, you know, I'd be like 100% ethnically pure or whatever, but I don't think I would have that much.
What? No, Drew.
like
I look at you and I see 100% R1A corded wear culture. You know,
no, you see me and you think 100%.
What do you mean?
Alexander
I look
the
at
Great.
I see the same thing. You know.
Wait, what culture did you say?
R1A haplogroup corded wear culture, which is through from
Drew is a black Jew, Romani. Fact. Turkish DNA spotted.
He's Turkish. He's Turkish.
So how did Phidias happen? What's his ancestry?
The combination
Phidias would be very bad combinations.
400 years of second cousin intermarriage and a dog.
No, I'm not being kidding, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna joke here. There are like some like backwards Greek Cypriot villages, right? Like the villages, like the peasants.
I mean,
I think that's
when you have a
Phidias
genetic
comes from.
pool of 50, like Phidias is the result, right?
like I think Phidias is probably coming from like the goat herders of the island. I'm not talking, but
they love those goats a lot.
Drew, when you say Turkish DNA, do you mean Anatolian DNA? Yeah, like probably did. Actually, this is interesting. Let's look up Greek Cypriot DNA. Let's look at it. It's interesting.
Drew, just order the test. My God.
How much is it? Is it like 150?
I don't know. They hops around.
Didn't 23andMe get cancelled?
Oh, they all got. They all got They've all been cancelled. They're all selling your DNA. Like, just do the test.
According to the Cypriot Greeks are closest to Aegean Greek islanders, Lebanese Christians, and Southern Italians. I have seen the Southern Italian thing, which is interesting because wasn't there a study that said that Ashkenazi Jews are closer to Southern Italian?
No, it was. I've seen that study. It was
I have Chris on for an hour and it immediately gets into race science.
Yeah, we get into the specifics of race. I'll go get my phrenology skull. We'll start doing the measuring. Yes, I believe there was an indication that there was a large amount of Italian admixture in there, but that, I mean, it depends which order you put it into, first of all, and so a lot of the historical DNA testing has issues in terms of what they're testing, and this is by virtue of some cultures having different funerary
I've seen this one before.
So, yeah.
Distance to Cypriot Greek. So Greek, Dodecanese, Rhodes, Aegean, Roman Imperial, Dodecanese, Peloponnese, Kos Island, then you get Anatolia, Greek Central Anatolia, Cypriot Turk. So you've got like many different before Cypriot Turk, and then you go Greek Cappadocia, Lebanese Christian Greek, Lebanese Christian, Sephardic Jew.
Oh, there he
Bro,
goes.
I'm
Drew's
part
getting a
of- I'm part
liar.
of the tribe. Greek
Drew's
Cyclone,
Drew's
Cretan.
chilling with BB in the
Yup,
Gaza
yup,
City
yup.
Trump Tower.
Average racial purity chat. I'm a member of the tribe. And then,
You,
yeah,
you've,
it's
you've
interesting.
got to
like,
you've got to get the test before you're allowed into the ethno state. If you're not
Palestinian
100%,
Christian. Palestinian Christian is at the bottom. So I'm not racist at all. Like, all these, and when Drew takes the test, it will just say Turkish.
yeah.
Dude, how could I
Erdogan
be
will,
Tur-
I don't. It will be 100%
My-
Turkish. Erdogan will personally present you.
I've
with
got
the-
a question here.
the
Is
grand
Avi
order
Sephardic
of
or
the- of the
Mizrahi?
Sultan.
You know, Avi Yemeni, dude, it comes in the last name. They're from Yemen. He's a Yemenite Jew, so it's Mizrahi.
Marazi.
Yeah, no, you know, Avi's from Yemen.
Yes, comes from the word Yemeni. I would have guessed.
Yes, yeah, I know, but Cypriot's not so Greek after all. New study shows. Oh, this is concerning. Yeah, no, he is definitely Mizrahi.
Cyprus
Okay, let's
male.
see this is extremely concerning. Hang on. Oh, you know, dude, Cyprus male was the one that the guys. Okay, this is really fucking funny. Like, I always forget this happened. The Chinese ambassador to Cyprus wrote to the Cyprus Mail as like a letter to the editor saying like Drew's bad. I'm gonna find that. I'll put that up on the stream. But we'll read this first.
Incredible.
ADHD moment. I forgot about that for so long. So fucking strange, dude. So fucking strange that that like the Chinese ambassador to Cyprus condemned me. What the actual fuck? That's so strange. Malachi says, "What is my penance to go back on your show, dude? Just don't fucking pal around with Bad and Panada. We fucking hate Bad and Panada." Okay, at best, Cypriot men are 30% of Greek descent. Oh, this is concerning as fuck, my friend. This indicates the island population has more genetic similarities with the populations of mixed origins brought to Cyprus down through the centuries. According to history and archaeology, the first inhabitants of Cyprus came from neighboring countries up to 12,000 years ago, long before the Greeks or Turks appeared. Hang on. So, the study among Cypriot men analyzing the Y chromosome showed that indices related to the Greek line of origin were between 10 and 30% at bad. Fucked up, dude. That's concerning as hell.
The
most significant achievement so far was it.
Confirmed.
No, I don't think it actually means so. I think what it means is that, like, I think they're talking about like literally the original indigenous inhabitants of Cyprus, and then they were Hellenized. Because like there actually were like indigenous inhabitants. I think we need to have late acknowledgements actually.
So true. No, Drew's also from Hyperborea. It was created by Yakub in a lab personally.
That's true. That's actually true.
You heard it here first.
Environmental factors such as malaria also played a role in the increase of mutations within the population. Interesting. The genetic advantage that protects against malaria. Oh, so if I go to like, I don't know, like Nigeria or whatever, I wouldn't get malaria.
We should try this.
Yeah, we should try this. No, go to a place with malaria. Don't take the tablets. Beautiful. The superiority of the Greek civilization was evident and prevailed. But okay, should I fucking order it? I'm concerned. What if I take it and it just comes back Hassan Piker? Like, what if I take it and it comes back and it's like Hassan's your fucking cousin? I'd be fucking so upset. Drew is a beast of Yakub. I want to clarify. I actually wouldn't care if I was like 20% Turkish. I actually would like legitimately not care. But if it came back and it just said like Hassan Piker is your cousin, I'd be so fucking pissed.
Drew will just forget to take the tablets anyway. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, Drew will just forget. Listen, Cypriot's closer genetically to Turks or Greeks or Arabs. My mum is Cypriot. Almost all her DNA falls under the MENA umbrella. Neither Greek nor Turk. Cyprus is genetically closer to Anatolians and the Levant. I mean, we are Levantine. I mean, it is like literally a Levantine thing. And like, you know, Levantine is like literally Palestinian, Syrian, Lebanese, Jewish. Like that's the Levant, right? Oh, gee.
Here first on the race science episode, Drew claims...
This is the first one of the Drew Pavlich show, 40 episodes in, and we got into race science. But we're only applying it to Drew, though. Greek Cypriot DNA. Are Cypriots...
Why are you on Reddit? Why are there purple Reddit links on the screen? It's not good.
I'm just trying. I want to work it out. I want to work this out for myself. But is it? Let's watch this. Interesting. Okay, let's watch this.
Cyprus was once part of the Mycenaean.
This is like
Oh,
pure
it's
slop.
slop. It's slop. It's slop. It's slop.
It's like AI slop.
Mycenaean civilization, evidenced by local production of Mycenaean vases dating back to around 1400-1050 BC. The abundance of these pottery pieces suggests the presence of many Mycenaean settlers
No
or
more slop.
settlements on
I
the
can't
island.
do with this. I can't do
The
with
Greek
this.
settlement on the island began around 1400 BC, possibly
Such
intensified due to
stupid
Dorian
slop.
invaders on the mainland.
Dude, how good's the slop AI voice? It's so funny.
Like the original.
There's like a whole generation of like Gen Z kids who like literally can't watch a video for more than 1 minute if it doesn't have this exact slop voice.
From IKEA, evidenced by linguistic connections between the Arcadian dialect and those of
Where's Subway Surfers? I can't wait for this.
Pamphylia and Cyprus. The Achaean tribe might have been among the original inhabitants of the Peloponnese, Pamphylia, and Cyprus, predating the Dorian invasion.
So we're talking about the original inhabitants.
Among the existing population and founded Salamis. During the Byzantine era, Greek Cypriot culture was profoundly influenced by Greek Orthodox Christianity, shaping their identity for centuries. Despite being subjected to oppressive rule by the Lusignans and later the Venetians from the 1190s to 1570s.
Yeah, the Venetian. I told you that the Venetians were there.
The Greek Orthodox Church endured persecution, with land seized and taxes collected by the Latin churches. Genetic studies reveal that Cypriots share a genetic domain with people from the Aegean Islands, Sicily, and southern Italy. Greek and Turkish Cypriots have similar patrilineal haplogroups, but Greek Cypriots differ from mainland Greeks due to less influence from Balkan populations. They also differ from Middle Easterners due to lower frequencies of specific haplogroups.
So this is a funny comment, bro. We're so fucked if this is what the kids are educated on, just like retarded TikTok videos.
No, this isn't. If you haven't been on Instagram Reels, you should probably go on and just.
Cypriots differ from mainland Greeks due to less influence from Balkan populations. They also differ from Middle Easterners due to lower frequencies.
That is actually what the average
Turkish
person in
Cypriots have
Cyprus
distinct
looks
Eastern,
like.
Eurasian, and North African ancestry compared to Greek Cypriots. Both Greek and Turkish Cypriots exhibit similar frequencies for their major patrilineal haplogroups, indicating a shared genetic heritage. The primary subclades for both groups include J2AM410, 23.8% for Greek Cypriots, and 20.3% for Turkish Cypriots. EM78, 12.8% for Greek Cypriots, and 13.9% for Turkish.
We're gonna keep on
and
investigating.
G2P287, 12.5% for Greek Cypriots, and 13.7% for Turkish Cypriots. However, there are notable differences between Greek Cypriots and mainland Greeks regarding haplogroup frequencies. Greek Cypriots show lower frequencies of
Look at this retarded AI. No one looks like that in Cyprus.
What?
That's pretty funny. They've got like some like AI like blue-eyed person. I don't know if I'm trying to think in my head if I know anyone from Cyprus with blue eyes. I'm sure there would be some, but like that's pretty rare. It's such AI slop.
compared to mainland Greeks. This disparity is attributed to historical migration.
Dude, every Cypriot man looks like that.
Okay, why does
Byzantine
why
era
did
and
what? Okay, no, let's just stop here.
Middle Ages from
Why has he
other
got
Balkan
like?
populations.
Why has he got lamella? Like,
It's
what
such
is
retarded
this
slop.
slop? How do you even get that?
Okay, let's watch this slop video.
Are Turkish Cypriots close to people
Wait.
from Anatolia? Their DNA tells a completely different story. Cyprus lies at the heart of the Mediterranean.
Dude, how bad are these slop videos? Like, where it's just the AI voice. It's so bad, dude.
This is not good. This is.
I love that last one. How it has all the images of the Cypriot guys like are like dressed as Vikings for some reason.
They were the real
so
Vikings.
goated. Most Turks who resemble Hassan are Turkified Ionian Greeks, but Hassan himself might actually descend from. No, I'm not even kidding. There is like a meme where I've seen this meme where people say that like any Turkish person who looks like white is basically Greek, but there are actually some Turkish people who look like really, really white, to be honest.
Well, I mean,
Turkish Cypriots make.
If you look at the Turkish royal. Okay, that's a little more believable. Yeah,
the northern population. They might speak the same language as Anatolian
Like that looks like a Cypriot guy.
Turks, but their genetic makeup would probably shock them. The island was conquered by Ottomans centuries ago. This event marking the start of Turkish settlement, local inhabitants mixed
That kind of looks like Drew, don't you think?
with the new arrivals. Now DNA studies
maybe Drew
reveal
in
something
2019
unexpected.
before he got into the chocolate milk.
That's pretty funny, Chris.
Turkish Cypriots have very little Turkic ancestry. Most of their DNA is shared with Greek Cypriots, the main difference being a higher West Asian input. So which ethnicities are the closest match to them? They cluster firmly with Eastern Mediterraneans, making them distinct from the people of Turkey.
Dude, we're
Their
actually
profile
doing full race science investigations into Drew's Cypriot background, actually.
Yeah, through slop though.
Okay, let's watch this. Do you identify as Cypriot, Greek, or Greek Cypriot? Okay. Have you seen Phidias's retarded video about the Cypriot conflict, by the way? We should watch that after. It's funny because there are some Cypriots who are like, there's some Greek Cypriots who identify as Cypriot, but my family were really always on like the Greek nationalist side. So I guess like when I was growing up, my papa would always be like, you're Greek, you're Greek. So like... Kypreo. You hear that, Chris? It's a good term. Kypreo.
Original Κυπρέα.
Ελληνοκύπριος. Έλληνας της Κύπρου. Ελληνοκύπριος.
Κυπριος.
Κύπριος.
Ούτε Ελληνοκύπριος, ούτε Τουρκοκύπριος. Κυπριος.
Κύπριος.
Θεωρούμε αυτό μου Ελληνοκύπριο.
That looks a bit like Phidias.
Το οποίο δηλαδή έχει διαφορά από το Κύπριο, σε παράδειγμα. Ναι, έχει διαφορά. Ένας Κύπριος μπορεί να...
When are the skull measurements coming for Drew? When he submits to the experiment.
You know those Turks who look like Hassan? It basically means their Turkic ancestors probably brought Greek wives back in the day. That's fucked up, dude. It's sad.
Look at him. Look at him. You can tell. Look at it. You can just
dude,
tell,
my butt
man.
looks like that. My butt pool, both sides of my butt pools look exactly like this guy. It's funny.
If you just sent me that photo, no context, I would just know it is Greece. It's just,
the Greek
just
butt pools,
know.
dude. I love the Greek stuff.
They look
Dude, one
entirely
day I'm
different.
gonna look like this. Can you imagine, dude? One day I'm gonna look like this guy. Like in like 50 years, in like 70 years, if they haven't invented like aging stuff by then, I'm gonna look like a butt pool.
If they haven't invented Manjaro for aging by then, you're fucked, dude. You're looking exactly like this. You gotta take up smoke. No, that guy's gonna live to like 100. That's the thing, right?
It'd be funny. Do you reckon when I like am that age, I'll look more Greek? Actually, this is a good question. If I was walking down the street, would you say this bloke's Greek? I've had people say that like I'm Italian before. I had one person when I started. You know what's funny, Chris? When I started growing my beard, that's when actually I started getting asked like, "Are you Lebanese?" and stuff like that. Only when I started growing my beard.
Yeah.
I have a lot of cousins. I have a lot of cousins that look exactly like this guy here. Oh, this bloke looks very, very, very.
This guy. Yeah, he's Greek. Yeah,
there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum.
Yeah.
This would be the biggest slop video. Let's watch this.
Why do Native Americans have DNA from Europe? The answer is linked to
This is
ancient
slop.
Siberia.
Oh,
Native Americans form hundreds of ethnic groups.
That's slop. That's such just AI slop. Okay, let's watch this guy. He's got a DNA heritage test. Okay. Does he put it up?
No.
Wait, hang on. Let's see. Greek Cypriot.
Hello, ladies.
The one thing I've learned about Greek Cyprians dealing with you, Drew, is they don't know how to use technology, so he doesn't know how to do it.
Okay. So this woman would be grow the beard and pretend to be Lebanese. Well said. This is. Let's watch this. Let's watch this one. Can we trust the Turks?
Αλλά το Κύπριο μπορεί να μην παίρνουν τις αποφάσεις που μόνοι τους.
Dude, this is so Cypriot actually. This setting and you hear the music in the background and it's like really slow vibes. This is Cypriot.
Οπότε βασικά όχι είναι η απάντηση.
Βεβαίως, όλοι οι άνθρωποι μπορούμε να εμπιστευτούμε όλους τους ανθρώπους.
Libtard opinion.
No, yeah, libtard. I like the old man better.
Εμείς δεν μπορούμε να έχουμε εμπιστοσύνη στην
Ναι,
τουρκική
βεβαίως
πλευρά.
μπορούμε να έχουμε εμπιστοσύνη, γιατί έτσι νομίζω είναι
Gee, everyone's very progressive here.
το καλύτερο και για την δική τους πλευρά και για την δική μας. Όχι.
Γιατί το λέτε?
Γιατί όχι.
Όχι.
Μετά όσα έχουμε περάσει τόσα χρόνια, δεν έδειξε κάτι τέτοιο, δεν ένιωσα κάτι τέτοιο, δεν φάνηκε κάτι τέτοιο.
Πες ότι έπρεπε μια καλή συμφωνία, μπορούμε να έχουμε
You
εμπιστοσύνη
reckon I'll look like this guy like in 80 years if they don't invent Monjaro for aging?
ότι να εφαρμοστεί.
You need to start working on that.
When have the Turks ever honored an agreement? Well said.
Ότι η ιστορία δεν έχει
Josh wants to come on.
αναφέρει
Okay,
μια
I'll bring Josh on.
προσωπικότητα Τούρκου που να ωφέλει σε αυτόν τον κόσμο. Τι έχει να παρουσιάσει η
What does
Τουρκία
Turkey have to solve for itself?
κατά την άστευση των λαών και γενοκτονίες.
People are all flawed and people all have good and bad in them. The fact that they're Turkish doesn't even enter into the argument.
Look at this. This guy's extremely libtard. Listen to this.
Κατά την άστευση των λαών και γενοκτονίες.
People are all
I agree with this old man.
Μία τον κόσμο. Τι έχει να παρουσιάσει η Τουρκία παρό μόνο.
How based is this guy? He goes, there isn't a single prominent Turk does not support genocide.
Μια προσωπικότητα.
I look at Assad, I'm like, yes, facts.
Προσωπικότητα Τούρκου που να ωφέλει σε αυτό.
You should go back on a trip.
Dude, did you hear this guy? He goes, there isn't a single prominent Turk who has had a positive impact on the world. It's so hardcore, dude. That's my opinion, Tassan. In the whole of history, there isn't a single prominent Turk who has had a positive effect on the world. Holy fuck, this guy's hardcore. Only the oppression and genocide. It's so hardcore, dude. That's like
you should go back from learn from this man is the wise master of anti-Turkish.
What I was going to say, Chris, my
go back and learn
opinion,
from him.
No, so if you ask me my opinion on like Turkish Cypriots and Turkey and stuff like that, I actually would be like one of the libtards on this guy, and I'd just be like, we're all humans of the same human race. But then you ask me about Hassan, and I'm like, there's not a single Turk in history. There's not a single Turk who has ever been positive.
People are all flawed. And
Yeah, dude, this is like, so ordinarily you ask me, what are your thoughts on Turkey and Cyprus and everything? And I'll be like, yes, people are all flawed and people all have good and bad in them. Like, just very, very... And then you ask me, Hassan, and it's like, there is not a single Turk who has not genocided our people.
people all have good and bad in them. The fact that they're Turkish doesn't even enter into the argument.
That's so funny. That guy was so fucking hardcore. How funny was that? He literally said there's not a single good Turk in history. So fucking schizo. Okay, wait. I gotta
wait. If you scroll down far enough, scroll a little further. A little further, Drew. A little further. I saw your
Hang on, Josh. I sent Josh the link on WhatsApp. Which one were you thinking of?
I saw you for a sec. If you keep scrolling, I saw you. No.
Oh, that was me versus Percy.
Oh.
Hang on. Let's Greek 23 and me shocking result. Hang on. Oh wait, hang on. No, that's okay. Wait, as a Greek Cypriot. Okay, let's see this one. I have when I started growing out my beard, I got asked by like a Somali Muslim driver in an Uber who was like, "Are you Lebanese Muslim, brother?" And I was like, "No." That was epic. Oh, we can't see because of the dumb subscribe button. Oh, slop. Stupid slop.
It's all slop. There's no more slop. There's a lot.
Let's see,
Can we do some actually new slop?
Oh, dude! Mate, do I immediately get the Do I immediately Hello, Josh. Do I immediately I immediately get my right of return if it returns like 10% Jewish or something like that.
Yeah, Drew's getting the real Mossad bucks then.
I don't know though, like, but surely like it would be recorded by somebody in like my fucking family history, right? Surely, right?
Who knows?
Surely,
I just
right?
want to say this is so fucking funny.
How funny is this slop, Josh? Like all these stupid videos.
It's so
and they're all like
good.
dumb AI voices and shit like that.
You said the most profound sentence earlier that like had me in stitches, and I turned to my girlfriend and I was like, I think I want to go into a show.
Wait, what
about
did
how
you
you said the most profound thing, and it made me like turn to my girlfriend. We just finished watching The Last of Us, and I was like, I really want to go on Drew's show right now. And she's like, what did he say? And I was like, he said that something like, this kind of slop is the only way in which like Gen Z people can actually like learn stuff. Like it has to be like the same voice. Did you know? It's got that fucking
if it doesn't have the voice, they just turn off straight away.
Let's
go back to the original one.
Reading it to me.
In 10 years' time, we're going to open up like the New York Times, and every single article.
The country of Greece
is that voice.
Dude, that's such a good voice. I'm trying to find I was trying to find that one. Where was it?
Our Turkish
such shit.
Cyprus was once part of the.
Oh, there it is.
And it has that dumb music. I was like,
Mycenaean civilization, evidenced by local production of Mycenaean vases dating back to around.
Let's look at this account. Let's see. What else. They've got it for everyone. They've got it for everyone, dude.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Oh yeah, Drew immediately.
In the sprawling expanse of Somalia, diversity thrives, not just in its landscapes, but within the genetic fabric of its people. From the northern reaches to the southern
They're talking about that Najat girl who always attacks me on Twitter right now.
territories, a complex mosaic of ancestry weaves through the Somali genome, revealing a rich tapestry of heritage. The story begins with the pre-Nilotic peoples, ancient inhabitants of East Africa who left an indelible mark on the Somali DNA. Their genetic legacy, comprising 50% of the Somali genome, speaks of millennia-old connections to the Horn of Africa. Venturing further into the genetic landscape, we encounter the Omotic.
This is just fascinating. How good is this? How good is this fucking slop? Let's look at the Finnish one.
The genetic landscape of Finland presents a fascinating narrative, reflecting a unique amalgamation.
It's all like from ChatGPT as well. Like it's like there's literally like not a single independent, interesting thought here. It's just like it is fascinating and such a unique agglomeration.
Amalgamation of ancestral components that sets.
I don't know. Can you guys tell when something's like written by ChatGPT? Because I think actually a lot of the time I can.
Yeah, it's like my job.
I think I can tell. What do you reckon, Chris?
I think it depends on if you do know editing and do know custom instructions, it's very easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you start blending properly, it's virtually indistinct. Like it can become.
Yeah, if you blend it, that's true. But a lot of people don't know how to blend it, so like they'll just like this is like what the C grade student does. Like they literally just go to ChatGPT and they're just like, this is the question. This is the essay question. Write me the essay. And if you do that, you're like retarded. And you literally
the A grade student has paid for the deep research function and just puts it in there. And it spits out something that is very good actually.
No, some of it can be really good. I like playing around with it. It's interesting. I was actually thinking of getting the new. I was thinking of getting the Google AI subscription because the new developments are pretty crazy. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, it's insane. So like
Actually,
my job at the moment is I'm working with this legal tech. It's like an AI legal tech AI tech kind of thing. And basically like without going into the nitty-gritty, we were going through some of the stuff that Google's just dropped recently. And I don't know if you've seen those videos, but it's like a real view. You can't tell the difference.
Some of them.
But something I learned
Google
today. But like something I learned today, which I think is really interesting, because I'm working with like lawyers who are also programmers. They're kind of both. And he was saying that right now it's actually illegal for OpenAI to delete any of your data. So people are worried about their data being held onto. It's illegal for the data to be deleted because it's currently subject to legal machinations at the moment, legal actions. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Damn. So, I mean, technically everyone could be fucked over then, hey?
Well, they're not even allowed to delete your, like, even if they're like, you know what, we take all of your privacy really seriously, we're going to delete your data. They legally cannot.
That's weird. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we watch a bit of the
my 63 prompts with Goonabait. Bros. I'm not feeling so.
It's over.
I'm not feeling so good, guys.
We're all in the bin together.
So true. So true. Hang on. I've got someone saying check the Discord. I'm trying to see.
Is this? Yeah. Okay, put this one on, Drew. This is good.
The average Greek actually, that's good. Okay, we should watch that. That is actually that's a YouTube classic. You know, Wow Mao actually attacked me on Twitter for some reason. I don't even know why. Like, I didn't even do anything to him. He posted that video of my dad screaming at me from 2019.
Yes.
Oh, dude, how annoying is it that like everyone thinks that video is from like last month, but it's actually like fucking 6 years old? Like, what the fuck, dude? Chris, you remember that
the
from
best
fucking,
one
like,
of your videos? I just
right?
can't believe that's the only one they got.
There's so many retarded videos from that time. Hey.
Yeah, I have most of them saved. You know, Drew Doxon's hit me up. $1,000. Drew, I'll split the money with you.
So true, so true. Let's watch this.
I
This is
am more
this one.
white than you. You look gypsy. I am blonde hair. Blonde hair I have. You gypsy.
That means that someone fucked your mother that is Turkish, but your father is not. Your mother is a whore and she got fucked from someone. You are weak sperm. You are weak sperm. This is the strong sperm. This is the Greek
Oh,
god.
bah.
Okay, Greek god.
If you have Greek god, you would have win, but you lose.
Lose where? Lose where?
You lose. Why is Hagia Sophia this, brother?
Oh, fuck, man. Oh, I love the Balkans, dude. I love the Balkans.
Oh, I had no idea about this corner of the internet.
Really?
He's a really funny guy. It's a shame that he's like a fucking tanky. He's pretty fucking funny. We can watch some of his things, like, what else? What else has he got? Oh, average Serbi Albanian.
Me, Albanian boy, fuck your family complete.
But why?
Because you Serbian.
That's the point. That's the whole.
That's the point.
And why?
Because
Albanian and I'm Serbian are
Yes.
fucking racist, man.
Shut the fuck up before I kill you, motherfucker. I'm Albanian.
Stupid bitch.
Come, I was there yesterday. Fuck your mom. After that, fuck your sister. Shut the fuck up.
That's really good. That's really good. You don't even fuck anybody, you fucking bitch.
I don't
Are
fuck
fucking
ever.
weird.
No.
You're
In
talking
Albania,
about
no.
shit. Oh, I fuck that, you fucking bitch. You everyday masturbate on Pornhub for Lima Road, man.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Before I fuck your grandma too, I swear. Edhe pse është blog edhe e ka leshën e bardhë unë ta qi.
The Balkans are a sign of great intelligence and genius.
No,
I'd say.
okay. Find the Indonesia. No, find the Indonesia versus Latvia one. That one is truly the.
I'll find that one.
Oh, Estonia. I forget. It's
Great point by Bertil Olfsson in the chat, by the way.
This video is literally every ship-to-ship radio conversation in the Red Sea. Facts. So true.
Yeah.
How the Houthis going?
Yeah, I think very much AI can be as long as again, it's good information in, good information out most of the time. You have to
exactly.
fact check it.
You actually have to have good prompts, otherwise it's shit.
Well, good prompts. You almost want to know about what you're talking about before you let it do anything. I
that's
find
true.
I have written things by hand, and then I'll go back and basically ask the same question to the AI and see if I've missed anything. It's usually not bad. It gets 95. It gets 90-95% stuff right, and then it will get something wrong. You're like, okay.
Drew does the 23andMe test, and he comes back Albanian. That'd be fucking powerful.
Incredible stuff.
I think also we're talking about.
I am a Mongoloid.
I debated
In my heart,
Harry.
I'm a Mongoloid. That is what I am. We are a ward. That is what we are. Yes, we are that. We are 100% that.
That's not something to be proud of.
It is something to be proud of, because the Mongols are the ones who created civilization, and you created nothing but barbarism. You're the fucking barbarians.
He sounds Greek.
The treasures of mankind. The Mongols.
Haz is like a CCP supporter, Hamas supporter guy. He's like Jackson Hinkle's best mate. He's like his
only
lieutenant.
united it. The fuck do you know about civilization? What the fuck do you know about pride? The fuck do you have to be proud of except looting, genociding, and destroying the cultures and peoples of
The Mongols definitely didn't do that.
this world? The fuck do you know, cans cock?
Well, you're the one here shipping out, so.
I am shipping out, bitch, because I'm a fucking human being.
It's a good- it's a
and you're a
good-
little
it's a-
soy
it
boy
is a
cunt
good
little
segment.
bitch. You don't know who the fuck I am.
No, I see you. I think you're a Mongoloid. That's what
I am a Mongoloid. You're right. It is
Let me
what
show
I
you
am.
Drew v Hassan. No, shit, not Hassan. Drew v Haz. Hang on. This actually happened, guys. Like, look at this. It was a 6-hour debate. How fucking retarded is that?
Tibet is an autonomous zone, and the other half is just
What the fuck? 6 hours. How the fuck did I do that, dude?
Well-
January 2023.
what?
Okay, according to the Chinese constitution, half of it is an autonomous zone.
I
If you were
love
talking about the
the
area
old
that is
studio,
that is officially referred to
What
as
do you say?
I love the old studio. The echo's
The
really
old studio,
good.
which is just like my mom's.
I'm waiting for your
kitchen
mum
table.
to walk past.
Yeah.
There's nothing autonomous about it. So the entire
So
region
you
is still under
pivoted.
the
You pivoted from. You pivoted from it.
Dude,
Not
that's fucking endurance. How the fuck did I last 6 hours against this retard?
Yeah, you
being
barely
autonomous
lasted like
because half of it is
like Adu fucking repeating the
Adu's
same like
particularly
3 lines and
Adu's so
and
fucking
poorly
annoying, though.
interpreting like the 3 papers he cites, and also
Adu's
being unable
so
to,
fucking
and
annoying.
being unable to read a
Adu's like
treasury
another
paper
level of being
correctly.
annoying.
But that's that's the
Adu's
way
like
that works.
another level of being fucking annoying. 6 hours and the result is nothing. Facts.
It's not formally under the name of the
There's
autonomous
two
zone.
reasons why it's not autonomous. I'm trying to explain to you there are two reasons why it's not autonomous. Firstly, half of the Tibetan territory it does not even come under the banner of the Tibetan Autonomous Region.
Okay.
And then secondly,
So in the half that is not part of the Tibetan Autonomous Region, could you think of a reason why it's not part of the autonomous region?
Well, they wanted to dilute Tibetan.
What about ethnicity? What ethnicity is kind of more historically native to that half of Tibet?
Literally the Tibetans, retard.
Tibet has always been Tibetan. For like
What about
keep Tibetan? Facts.
What about the Formosa?
Oh, dude, I'm so lucky. We literally lucked out on the most retarded part of his entire 6-hour debate. Just randomly clicking it, we found the most retarded has moment. Look at this.
For like 1,000 years.
What about the Formosa subculture, whatever you
Dude, Formosa is the old European name for Taiwan, and he thought there was a people called the Formosa people of Tibet. So retarded.
Call it. What about that?
What are you talking about right now? Formosa.
Formosa culture.
What the fuck, dude?
Formosa. Are you referring to the traditional term under which Taiwan is called, like Formosa, the province of Formosa? I don't know what you're talking about.
The Formosa subculture, dude. So smart.
No, I'm referring to indigenous Taiwan.
Fuck, we're talking about Tibet.
What about Taiwan? We're talking about Tibet. What about fucking
Weren't
Taiwan?
you just talking about Taiwan?
We're talking about Tibet the whole time.
That's so
okay.
Oh my god. Oh, this is what's
if we're
wrong
just
with
talking
you.
about Tibet.
I actually dude, I really crushed him because we started talking about Tibet and he literally had never even heard of anything about. And then I remember I'm not even kidding. Syria Girl was in the chat and Syria Girl was like, "Oh, bro," and she was sending him emergency articles on Tibet, about the Dalai Lama being a slave trader and all this shit. He literally had no idea.
You're saying all the ethnic minorities inside China have this live under autonomous regions, etc.
You're saying half of Tibet and the other half belongs to what?
So half of Tibet is inside the Tibetan Autonomous Region, which is the official name of the territory, but it's actually just it is autonomous in name only because it is effectively just administered from Beijing and it is administered by CCP cadres.
So hold on, if it doesn't matter that half of it is part of the autonomous zone, then why isn't all of it within the autonomous zone? What is material about pointing to the fact that half of it doesn't belong to the autonomous zone?
So fucking smart, dude.
Well, I mean,
retarded.
China puts out the fig leaf that these regions are autonomous, but one of the ways that they can dilute that is by literally cleaving off massive parts of the traditional territory of Tibet and just annexing themselves.
How does that dilute it?
Dude, he's actually retarded.
Well, for example, the area in which the Dalai Lama was literally
honestly
a rump state is.
I know, dude. My traditional topic is China. It's sad that I actually haven't been able to talk about it for fucking ages now, because no one talks about China anymore. But I'm on my shit when we're talking about China.
Born, is not considered Tibetan according to the Chinese government. According to the Chinese government, it comes under official Chinese territory. So what I'm saying is,
hold on, it's all official Chinese territory. So you need to be more specific.
Okay, no, what I'm referring to, Harry. You were talking.
I kept on calling him Harry and he got really pissed off
about the fact that all these ethnic groups in China have.
I did that to Joel Davis as well. I kept on calling Joel Davis Joel Day. What did I say? I called him Davey. I said Julian Davey. He got really angry. At one point, Joel Davis almost got up and hit me because I kept on calling him Julian Davey. It's actually pretty funny.
Autonomy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that's the claim you asserted. I'm just saying in the Tibetan context.
The fact that the borders of the Tibet Autonomous Region don't satisfy what you consider to be all of Tibetan territory. I mean, so are you saying half of Tibetans? What I was trying to get at earlier when I confused it with
literally a majority of Tibetans live outside the Tibetan Autonomous Region. That's just a fact. According to the Chinese government states that as a fact, the majority of Tibetans live outside the Tibetan.
So there's no ethnic reason as to why the other half of
dude, he's not. What is he even fucking saying? It's actually retarded.
Of what you call Tibet, there's no other reason why that's not part of the Tibet Autonomous Zone.
Well, they want to. The idea is to split up.
Yeah, he's actually just like the infinitely shitter version of Hassan.
The Tibetans and to make.
I don't know if I'd prefer. Actually, this is okay. Like, this is actually a good question. Would you prefer be locked in a room with Haz or Hassan?
Oh fuck.
What would you? That'd be torture, honestly.
I think Haz would be fun. I think
Haz would be funnier. I think Haz would actually be
Haz
funnier.
would
I
be
think
funnier. Look, he's got the sword.
Hassan would be like flexing in the mirror and shit, and like just being really cringe and like painting his nails. Whereas Haz would actually be at least.
Haz got swords in the background. I'm going with Haz, like just purely based on.
So they split them off.
They
come on. Some of.
I'm so lucky, dude. I clicked one. That is so fucking lucky, though. Out of the whole 6-hour debate, that I clicked the one part where he was being the most retarded.
Them don't even get.
Maybe it's because half of those Tibetans are more integrated and infused with the dominant Chinese culture, or I should say the Han Chinese culture.
That's just like fucking not true.
It's probably Joel Davis.
It's like literally the end.
Then
like,
how would it have divided them? Then how? It was a mosque.
And then this was his part about the Uyghurs, and he was like really genocidal when he was talking about that part. Yeah, look at this.
What about the Umar, bro?
Look at this.
Where's your Umar, bro? Come on.
Dude, watch this. He was laughing at because I was talking about cultural genocide. I was talking about like the Uyghur cultural sites that have been like bulldozed by China, and he was just mocking it so brutally. Watch this.
Honestly, this is in dispute. Look at all these.
What one are you talking about?
Look at this. It was just totally raised from the ground. They took all the fences. All the wooden fences are gone now. That was totally destroyed. The building was in such
so what? You have the same mindset as the colonials.
No, I don't. I'm just saying it just
it got pissed.
Doesn't. I don't even know.
What you're saying is, it's a shit shrine anyway. That's what you're hinting at.
No, I'll tell you the difference. There's a festival going on in this one, and then there's no festival going on in this one. And that's just about the only thing I see. That, like, I don't really see a.
If you were to make fun of like anything to do with Palestinian, like Haz would literally try behead you, but he's fine to make fun of the Uyghurs though. Like, fuck off, dude.
And surely, like, the big difference in these pictures, like the big difference in these pictures is that there's no fucking people there.
I know, dude.
Right.
Yeah, because they shut down like all these ones. A lot of these sites were like, you know what's crazy, right? Because you know how the Chinese government talked about it as like an anti-Islamic extremism campaign. A lot of these sites were actually like pre-Muslim sites because the Uyghurs used to be like Buddhist before they became Muslim and stuff like that. And like a lot of these like cultural sites that they fucking destroyed were actually like pre-Islamic Uyghur sites, like they just destroyed it all because it's Uyghur, like
than it was before. Why is this? This isn't destroyed, dude. It's not like it's like, you know what I mean?
I'll give you better. I've got a better photo.
Okay.
Where's the sick transition, Drew? We need sick transitions like that. That's
I don't know how to use it. Well, he's using Zoom here.
Yeah.
Mosque.
So you're deliberately finding like a shit photo, and then I've got a better photo. I'll show you.
First fucking result. What the fuck?
You know what sucks, right? I was doing this 6-hour stream. It was fucking hard, right? It was fucking torture. I didn't even know how to set up on my own computer. He probably made like a couple $1,000s from this stream. I didn't do it. I didn't make a single thing because I didn't even know how to stream back then. I'm so retarded. I wish I was streaming back then. You know what I should do? Fucking I should do.
Apparently, my chat is saying it's not the same.
I should do like a replacement debate with him, like a second debate.
No, you can just keep. No, you just have the video on the right. You can just re-record the left. You just make it like, make it look so perfect. Just perfectly countering every one of his arguments.
Not even the same place.
Perfectly countering him.
Dude, I don't. This is so ambiguous. Like,
no, I want to find the part where he was like, there's a part where, this part. Okay, watch this, right? So I got there, and he was actually just saying like, "Oh, it's shit. It was shit culture anyway. Who cares?" That's what he actually said. It's actually fucked up. Imagine you said anything about like Palestine like that, he would actually want to behead you.
I
like,
don't, dude. I don't know what. All right. Well, but that. Okay. Why didn't? I don't, dude. I don't know what this is or what I'm looking. I don't know what.
It's bulldozed. It is like fucking undeniable that it's been bulldozed by the Chinese government. So why is that? It's one of the top.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not an expert on architecture. It just looks like this is a pile of sand.
Dude, see, he's literally like, how fucking...
Man, like, you're just falling into the same trap as all the other neo-colonialist thinkers who go like, well, it's just, you just go,
I'm
oh, it's a
not.
pile of-
It literally is just a pile.
It's the pile of sand, dude. If you say anything about like Palestine like that, he will literally be like, "How dare you? I'll fucking kill you."
Of sand that.
Yeah, it's a pile of sand after they destroyed it.
Yeah, but that's because it
Dude,
was
the wind
both a
could destroy
wonderful,
this.
beautiful place. It's both a wonderful, beautiful place, like a paradise that's been destroyed by the evil Zionists, and it was
So
also
true.
an open-air prison at the same
Yeah,
time.
I know. Have you seen all those? I've seen all those videos where like they go like, Gaza was beautiful. Why did it have to be destroyed? And dude, it was actually. I agree. I wish it wasn't destroyed. It was Hamas that did that, and it's just funny because like they go, oh, it was like an open air concentration camp or whatever, but like literally like there's all these old videos of them going like it's the best place ever.
It's all right. I don't know what this is. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. This is your argument. Dude, what is this? This is your argument?
They just fucking destroyed.
Can you just imagine, right? Can you just fucking imagine anybody talking the same way he's talking about the Uyghurs? Imagine if anybody talked about Palestine like that, they would actually want to fucking kill you. Bad Empanada would be like, immediately kill Drew.
One of the top Uyghur shrines.
You know what's funny? He had a massive fight with Bad Empanada, and he accused Bad Empanada of being a pedophile against him. It's so stupid. Has versus Bad Empanada.
For no reason.
All right. Are you really going to say this
again.
is one of the top Uyghur shrines?
But it is though. It literally is.
I really
and then look at the comments, right? It's a sand from a sandbox. Looks like a hill, Drew. The wind bulldozed it. My
I'm
sand
sorry.
castle. Look how fucking disrespectful they are. And imagine anybody talked about like fucking any Palestinian cultural site like that. They would actually have an aneurysm.
I just doubt that.
It's just sad that you're gonna go, oh well, it wasn't.
I would
good
just
anyway.
you're
Like,
not
that's just horrible.
sourcing any of your claims. They just seem implausible.
Look at that. It was the Great Flood, evil CCP sandstorm, Soy Mountain. Dude, imagine you talked about Alexa like that. They would literally want to fucking kill you straight away. Like, it's just so hypocritical.
Plausible. It's just like, why should we believe this?
Bro,
I mean,
that's just
at
a
least-
sand dune on Lake Michigan.
And like that sand dune isn't built on top of a synagogue.
Why should we believe this is their number one shrine, dude? Why should we believe that?
I didn't say it's the number one shrine, but
You
like,
said it's one of their main
obviously
ones.
important.
I don't know.
Look at the comments, right? Like Mount Soiverest. I see these in Toronto. And it's like, dude, imagine anybody said something about like Alexa like that. They would literally want to kill you straight away.
It is. That is a fact. It's important in Uyghur culture, and then they destroyed it to.
So when it's ethnic group that they don't like, okay, destroy all their culture.
True, yes.
To like punish the Uyghurs.
Yeah, well, why should we
And you
believe
might
what?
find
Why
it
should
funny
we
because you might
believe
go,
your
"Oh,
narrative
it's
is?
not God." Anyway,
Why should we believe your narrative is true? Is true, dude.
for at least 450 years, the site had drawn pilgrims from across the expanse of El Tishahar, the southern half of what is now known variously as the
I don't. These photos are like. Do you think in court this would hold up? I don't even know if this is the same
Yes, it would.
place.
This is literally.
How do I
it
know
turns
this is
out-
the same place? How do I know this isn't just erosion? How do I know this wasn't just
it is-
something natural that happened? I don't know
It's
anything.
obviously not
This
erosion,
means
it's bulldozed,
nothing.
and
This means nothing.
The shrine is
Sure,
supposed to be the tomb to the Uyghur figure in history.
Fucking, it just isn't it hypocritical, right? Like that's how
I
they
have a
talk about
question
Uyghurs. Yeah,
for
yeah.
you, Drew.
Yeah.
I just want to understand, like, is he trying to make a case that the Uyghurs are not being devastated?
Yeah, that was his whole thing. Like he literally argued that there was no persecution of Uyghurs at all.
And why?
Because like it's literally as simple as like China is in their good camp geopolitically, and therefore nothing they can do is bad. It's like literally just that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's just like straight up tanky and retardation. Like it's just like they're in our camp, therefore we have to fucking protect them and defend them. It actually is fully bullshit, to be honest. By the way, I reckon let's finally watch the Hassan thing. Let's see what he said. It's sad because I think we were supposed to talk about the Washington DC thing, but it's been like 2 hours and we've barely talked about that yet. So let's watch a little bit about this and talk about it.
Yeah.
An innocent man and is unjustly maligned. If allegedly,
Yeah,
he had
dude, like
done this
literally,
act,
China has communists in name, so they're good. That's literally their fucking retarded argument. Like that's literally their mindset. Do you think Noah Samson should be arrested for incitement to a hate crime? Absolutely. They should be investigating straight away. What do you guys think? Absolutely. We need to have a full, proper FBI investigation. Would you agree, Chris?
Yes. I mean, look, it's
yeah, full FBI investigation. Stochastic terrorism. Isn't it?
I know you love the hypocrisy argument. I've gone well past that point. It's not not even worth engaging in that. But yes, if it were,
but sarcastic terrorism, Chris. Remember the days where they would say like anything anybody ever said was stochastic terrorism, inciting violence, blah blah. And then meanwhile, like Hassan can literally incite violence and terrorism, and it's like, nah, that's fine when he does it.
Yeah,
no,
again,
same. What do you say?
Yeah, look, if you're gonna play stochastic terrorism games in that sense and use that as a valid critique of public opinion, then sure, let it rip, right? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not fully sold on the stochastic terrorism argument. I'm just.
But it's funny to use. It's funny. It's funny when applied to.
Yes. Again, I've had Drew. I've had years of this, right? Of you might remember a certain stage that I got on and did a really beautiful talk.
And then guy hit you.
Yeah, some guy fucking tried to hit me in the back of the head.
I was a gay race communist back then, so didn't I justify it or something like that? So
you did a little bit of equivocation.
I actually so regret that. Josh, you should explain that to Josh because Josh wouldn't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so a bit of context here.
Chris spoke on stage at the UQ Union in support of the Ramsey Center for Western Civilization, and
mainly because it was going to give money to the arts, right? I think this was giving I went fully into it, and it was giving money to the arts. I didn't actually expect it to be based, right? I was fully aware it would be taught by the same lecturers who teach all the other stuff, and the curriculum it was a sort of a great works curriculum, not all the great works I would have picked. But it was, because it had a bunch of people, including, John Howard, cringe, and Tony Abbott on the board. It was the, it was the true great Satan. And I got up on stage and made a couple of points. And then, the crowd, let's just say the crowd wasn't particularly receptive. So I think I made a beautiful point about every culture being built on an island of bone and a sea of blood.
Did you actually say that? I can't remember.
I did actually. I mean, it's true. It is. I mean, fundamentally, almost every state, every current existing nation state is built, and every culture that has continued to survive has not survived purely by being, living in peaceful coexistence with their neighbors. I think that's if you can look at historical.
No one's free of historical sin.
Nobody's free of historical grievance. Nobody's free of historical sin.
By the way, guys, we've got I think we've got 30 people watching on YouTube. Guys, if you're watching, leave a like so that more people will come and see the video. Leave a like. But yes.
Yeah.
But
I was pretty inflammatory, but yeah. No.
So Chris gave a speech and he did make it inflammatory and whatnot. And then afterwards, a socialist guy at the university bar, literally just punched him out of nowhere. And I think back then I was a retarded communist, and I was like, well, Chris brought it on himself. But I've since completely repudiated Drew's days of gay race communism. So,
and my views haven't changed. So,
what did you say, Chris?
And my views have not changed.
Yes. Should we watch some Hassan?
That would be the equivalent to what took place here. They're excited for it.
Where's the part where he actually reads the fucking manifesto? Where's the part where we literally? Oh, here it is. Okay, I think he's got it.
I'm a person who thinks I'm too much of a vacation.
Oh, okay, here he's got it. Let's watch it. This is
for the record. Anyway, let's start. Palantar is a word that means something like thunder or lightning. In the wake of an act, people look for a text to fix its meaning. So here's an attempt. The atrocities committed by Israelis against Palestine defy description and defy quantification.
So true.
Instead of reading description.
True. Just literally something so unique in history, defy quantification. Fucking hell.
Mostly we watch them unfold on video, sometimes live.
Wait, what did you say, Josh?
What do they I know it hyperbolically or rhetorically, it's good flair. But when he says something defies description and defies quantification,
it literally
sounds great.
He goes on to describe it. He literally he goes on to describe it the next sentence.
As someone who thinks death tolls are important, I think the argument that these things defy quantification is rather bizarre.
Yeah, and then he goes, he's basically saying it defies quantification, and then the next 3 paragraphs are literally describing it and quantifying it. But
after a few months of rapidly mounting death tolls, Israel had obliterated the capacity to even continue counting the dead, which has served its genocide well.
Ukraine can't count the civilian death toll in like places like Mariupol. Like, these guys are such hypocrites.
At the time of the
They want all civilization in the entire world to stop this very second. The world to stop on its fucking axis, so we can all just whip ourselves over like Hamas losing a war. I'm sorry, it's fucking sad. I wish that the war didn't start, and I wish they didn't do October 7, and I wish they surrendered. I wish that there was no suffering. I don't revel in suffering. I wish it was over. Unfortunately, Hamas keeps it going.
Writing, the Gaza Health Ministry records 53,000 killed by traumatic force, at least 10,000 lie under rubble, and who knows how many thousands more dead of preventable disease, hunger, with tens of thousands now at the risk of imminent famine due to the Israeli blockade. All enabled by Western and Arab government complicity. The Gaza Information Office includes the 10,000 under the rubble with the dead in their own count. In news reports, there have been those 10,000 under the rubble for months now, despite the continual making of more rubble and repeated bombing of rubble again and again, and the bombings of tents amid the rubble, like the Yemen death toll, which had been frozen at some few thousand.
How Hassan is completely uncritical when reading the manifesto of literally a terrorist who executed 2 people in cold blood. So good that he does that.
2 years under the Saudi, US, UK bombardment before being belatedly revealed to stand at 500,000 dead. All of these figures are almost surely a criminal undercount. I have no trouble believing the estimates that put the toll at 100,000 or more. More have been murdered since March of this year than in the Protective Edge and Kaslet put together. These are 2 previous sieges that Israel implemented on Gaza in the past.
Where's Hassan's view in this? So he's just going to read it out and then uncritically move on to the next thing.
No, he's just literally uncritically reading the manifesto of a fucking terrorist. He's not even putting his own take on it. He's literally just saying, like, he's just literally reading out like the fucking Bin Laden letter to America. It's fucking mental. I'm sure Twitch is making great money off this. Like, they should actually be questioned. Like, why are you fucking doing this with your fucking platform, Jeff Bezos and Amazon? Fucking hell. Hang on, my camera's out. 1 second. Why does it always happen? Yeah, how good is it how he literally just doesn't he doesn't even comment on it. He's just literally reading out uncritically the fucking shooter's manifesto. That's always a good sign.
Well, it has to make it seem like it was reasonable.
One say about the proportion of mangled and burned and exploded human.
What did you say, Josh?
He has to make what happened seem reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's trying to do, hey.
Yeah, I mean, I have loved ones who work for equivalent organizations of similar ages, Jews, and the idea that they could have walked out of the fucking Jewish museum up the road and been shot, and then have some person, some smarmy prick on the internet read the guy's manifesto out. I mean, yeah, it's so horrifying.
Josh, did you hear? I read the police report. The woman that he shot, who's 26, literally my age, he shot her in the fucking back, and then she was crawling away in her own blood, and he actually made sure to stop, reload his gun, and then shoot her in the back multiple times to make sure she was dead. Like a full cold-blooded like execution. Like actually, like one of the most sicko things I've ever. Just so sick, so sick.
Beings whom were children. We who let this happen will never deserve the Palestinians' forgiveness. They've let us know as much. An armed action is not necessarily a military action. It usually is not. Usually it is theater and a spectacle. A quality it shares with many unarmed actions. Nonviolent protests in the opening weeks of the genocide seem to signal some sort of turning point. Never before had so many tens of thousands joined the sides of Palestinians in the streets across the West. Never before had so many American politicians been forced to concede that, rhetorically at least, the Palestinians were human beings too. But thus far, the rhetoric has not amounted to much. The Israelis themselves boast about their own shock at the free hand the Americans have given them to exterminate the Palestinians. Public opinion has shifted against the genocidal apartheid state, and the American government has simply shrugged. They'll do without public opinion then, criminalize it where they can, suffocate it with bland reassurances that they're doing all they can to restrain it.
He's literally just reading out the shooter's manifesto, no criticism, whatever. Just like, let's get this guy's views to as many people as possible. It's actually fucked up.
Israel where it cannot criminalize protests outright. Aaron Bushnell and others sacrificed themselves in the hopes of stopping the massacre, and the state works to make us feel their sacrifice.
Aaron sacrificed himself to stop the massacre. So true, bro.
Was made in vain, that there is no hope in escalating for Gaza, and no point
we can't even remember why Aaron Bushnell
in bringing the war home.
Andrew
We can't let
Bushnell, I
them
think the name
succeed. Their sacrifice.
Also, another thing to note, he actually made it so that his chat couldn't talk while he was speaking because he knew that people would literally say that they loved the speaker. So they just used emojis to show that they loved it.
Sacrifices were not made in vain. The impunity that representatives of our government feel at abetting the slaughter should be revealed as an illusion then. The impunity we see is the worst for those of us in immediate proximity to the genocidaires. A surgeon who treated victims of the Mayan genocide by the Guatemalan state recounts an instant in which he was operating on a patient who'd been critically injured during a massacre when, suddenly, armed gunmen entered the room and shot the patient to death on his operating table, laughing as they killed him. The physician said the worst part was seeing the killers,
Dude,
well known to him,
This is so mentally ill, I have to fucking say.
openly swaggered down local streets in the years after. Elsewhere, a man of conscience once attempted to throw Robert McNamara off a Martha's Vineyard-bound ferry into the sea, incensed at the same impunity and arrogance he saw in that butcher of Vietnam as he...
Do you know how schizo that is to just like find like Robert McNamara on a ferry and just try throw him into the sea? Like,
And
fucking
also-
hell, these guys are so schizo.
Also, like, the equivalent is finding a random American and throwing them into the sea, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Because it's not Robert McNamara he's fucking shot, is it? It's literally
No, he
just
didn't.
random Jewish kids.
Like, it just was like,
random Jewish
who
guys
is the
in
first? Who's walking out of the Jewish museum? Probably Jews. Cool. I'll just pop a couple of
Yeah,
them.
no, it's not even. That's the thing. It's not even fucking
It's not
Robert McNamara.
targeted.
It's literally a random
Yeah.
Jewish civilian.
Oh, just at random. It's just very sloppy. Just very like shit.
How
and
sloppy is that? He's literally
effectively
comparing.
sloppy and shit. It's
That's
just,
so
yeah,
sloppy
like-
to be like, bro. This is the equivalent of like attacking Robert McNamara, like literally the fucking Secretary of Defense.
But
Dude,
I just need
he
to
literally
like.
just killed like 20. Fucking hell, dude.
What fucks with me is that like, I know now that if somebody shot me outside the Jewish museum or the local synagogue, that our social media would be full of justifications for that having happened.
Dude, same with me.
Like-
Dude, if I got shot, they'd love it. They'd be like, oh, the Zionist pig has been killed. They'd screenshot all my posts criticizing Hamas and shit like that.
Hey, boys,
It's
I gotta
actually
go.
sickening. Eh?
My girlfriend's here. I gotta leave.
Oh, okay.
I'll
See,
you.
Chris. Find the
Yeah.
girlfriend. Bye. All right, we'll keep Josh on. Hang on. I see Vietran said, check the general chat. I've got that actually. Let me play. I'll quickly play the Noah Sampson video as well. Because have you seen this one, Josh? It's actually fucking sick. We'll go straight back to Hassan, but I'll play this and then we'll go back to Hassan. But look, this one's really sick. Watch this, right?
Living in the West have them.
Do you know who Noah Sampson is?
I googled him earlier when you mentioned him.
So he's got like 550k subscribers on YouTube. He's friends with Hassan and stuff like that. Ethan Klein's suing him right now, but watch this.
People living in the West have the most power over anyone else in the world to stop the genocide. We are living in the belly of the beast. We have direct geographical, physical
Wow.
access to the politicians, the propagandists, the weapons companies, and the supply chains that are facilitating this genocide. Protesting is great. We should keep doing that. But also, I feel like we have to be honest with ourselves. 17 months in, and what is protesting actually accomplished? Raising awareness, sure. Divestment, yeah, in some places. But really, politically, materially, nothing. Israel just killed.
So he's saying protests are not enough. Go out and fucking kill people. That's literally what he's saying.
The most children in its history in a single night with total impunity, with a deafening silence among the Western media. If we want this genocide to stop, it's time to escalate. That's all.
Escalate, dude. Escalate. Hear that word, escalate. Dude, you know what's scary? Like, I actually agree with Vietran here. Like, these guys, if they could, they would kill Ethan Klein. 100%, dude.
Yeah.
I think they're absolutely capable of that. If you just listen to all their rhetoric, all the things that they're saying, they're constantly saying like it's justified, go out, escalate. It's so obvious. And you're right, Zarenthius is so right here. Like, dude, have you noticed they're very cheeky the way they say it. They'll never say outright go and kill someone because they don't want to fucking get taken to the cops, right? So they'll just be like, they just say all the reasons why some schizo guy with a gun should go out and do something. Exactly like what happened yesterday.
Yeah, they
So-
justify, they establish the lay
Yeah.
of the land necessary for the violence to happen, and then they wait, right? They leave the matches and the gasoline there, and then they just
Yeah,
say, "Oh."
exactly, dude.
But, you know,
The
I think that
14,000 baby thing, we've got a comment
that-
here. I think you talked about that
it's
too,
blood
Josh. Like-
libel.
Yeah,
It's just,
it literally
I
is.
can't believe that people. I saw that and I was just like, okay, well, I mean, I'm pretty unhappy about what it looks like for Palestinian civilians. I'll say that much.
Yeah, and me too.
I
I
hope
agree.
that
I agree with
everybody is. But when you see something like that, you're like, well, obviously that's just not true. And then seeing people that you know reposting that and reposting that
Oh,
and
yeah,
reposting that, and then within 24 hours, these Jewish kids are getting shot. And it's
Yeah,
just like, well,
okay.
do people not see a correlation between this misinformation and the exaggeration and the calls for violence and then the actual violence? Like, do people not see a correlation between globalize the intifada and then
Yeah, globalized intifada, exactly. What was the whole idea? Like, wasn't it something like I read somewhere that the original idea that they were talking about, the 14,000, wasn't that supposed to be like over the course of an entire year if nothing changed or something like that? And then somehow someone said it was 48 hours. And then I saw Antoinette Lattouf saying 24 hours. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, even like the BBC, I think the UN came out and said, oh, that's not what was meant. And the BBC obviously rescinded it. But by then it was too late. And I don't know if you remember the Lancet letter. I think it was about a year ago now. It was a letter that
it was literally a letter. It wasn't even like, it wasn't a published study or anything like that.
They
It was
distanced
literally-
themselves, exactly, from it. But they, but in that letter, if you just read it slowly, it doesn't even say that there are 200,000 people dead. It's a projection based on a bunch of what ifs, which are all I mean, who knows? But the problem is that, like, I think that we do have a horrible situation going on. There are actually like a fair few horrifying situations going on. But if you pick one of those horrifying situations and then you turn the volume up to 11 with hyperbole and exaggeration and misinformation, you end up drumming up this horrible situation around the world where people are actually at each other's throats in a way that they wouldn't be, in a way that makes the problem so much worse. I think this misinformation actually makes the war
guy has
worse.
gone out. Exactly, because like a mentally ill guy has gone out with a gun and just executed random people for nothing. And it's part of this whole climate. There's all these guys online telling these people, do it now. Like, it's fully schizo.
And these people who are sharing this shit are like, I'm helping. And it's like, you're literally emboldening Hamas, emboldening terrorists, and also emboldening domestic terrorists.
And they're the reason why Hamas is still going, because Hamas thinks that they can hold out and shit like that. And it's just sick. Like, the whole thing is just mental. Oh, God, dude, it's so bad. Let's watch the rest of it.
So anyways, yes.
You can lay it out very easily, one sentence at a time. It's quite clear. We in the West have direct physical access to a bunch of people, including the propagandists, after just...
And dude, isn't the crazy thing, Josh? Like, he would be talking about people like us.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would straight up think that, like, we're a justified target to be killed.
Yeah, we made the horrifying mistake of reading books instead of reading fucking tweets.
Yeah, literally.
Or listening to those slop videos that you posted earlier.
Yeah, like, literally, that's the equivalent of what they're doing. It's just fucking insane, dude. Oh, gee,
labeling
Noah
a bunch of
Stanton's
people
sicko.
creators, propagandists. What does protesting achieve? Well, some things, but overall, basically nothing. If we want this to stop, we need to escalate. That's all I'm saying.
Escalate
I'm
is
sorry.
such
If you had
a-
a clear vision for what needs to...
Dude, how bad is that? Like, that term? How bad is that dog whistle? Escalate. Everybody knows what the fuck he's talking about, eh?
Yeah,
it's a dog whistle.
Yeah.
It literally is a dog whistle. That's what we're talking about here. It's a dog whistle.
Look, this isn't. This is not in support. This is not in support of the Australian right by any means, right? But let's just take an analogous example. Let's just say during the referendum that Peter Dutton and the coalition looked at the numbers and went, "Oh my God, they might actually end up voting yes," and they started saying things like, we need to up the ante. What was the word that he just used then? Escalate. We need to escalate.
Yeah, and like psycho language like this, and we have the physical control and shit. Like, dude,
we have direct. He said we have direct access to these people involved. Is what he said earlier.
Fucking hell,
So
eh?
what if something like that was said? Like,
It's
It's
so
so
obvious what they mean. It's
transparent.
so obvious what it means, dude. It's literally the most blatant dog whistle ever. I'm sick of these dog whistles because they act like people don't know what they're fucking talking about, but it's so obvious to anybody with a fucking brain.
Can you
And
imagine?
Trend, this is a good comment. And they're all self-proclaimed dog whistle experts. Fucking hell. You're always gonna
Yeah,
say,
well,
Josh.
like, can you imagine if let's just say like all of a sudden over the next year, people everywhere in Australia were starting really small fires, like just for fun or for warmth or whatever. It doesn't matter why, but let's just say you walk down the street and there are just like tiny little fires going on that people are starting, not
Yeah.
necessarily burning down homes or cars or anything, just little fires. And there are so many of these little fires all over the place, and so many people seem to be enjoying the electricity of all of these fires. What the fuck is the state going to do? Like when we talk about anti-terrorism laws or prosecuting these people, we actually can't. There is nothing we can do about this stuff. These fires are everywhere. They're omnipresent, and most people seem to kind of like it.
Well, that's the thing. This is the sad reality. I want the state to do something, but I actually think the reason why like the police haven't arrested these types of guys in Australia and stuff like that is because they're actually scared to do it. Because I think honestly, like the police in Asia and all these things, like I think they genuinely think there'll be like a massive domestic terrorism wave if there's an actual crackdown on like the Hamas and Hezbollah stuff at the rallies. And I remember the ASIO chief literally said, "Oh, the rallies are actually they're actually like a pressure release valve." And it's like, dude, it's not been like that at all. It's actually added to the pressure, if anything. It's pretty scary, the whole thing. Fucking hell. That's a good analogy, though.
Genocide, you would say it because you want to direct your audience into something fruitful, unless the thing you want your audience to do is against TOS, criminal, violent, etc. He's calling for people to do something that he is too cowardly to say himself.
Yeah,
he's calling for people to do dirty work for him. That's what this is. It is unambiguously a call for violence. Okay, I'm sorry, and he doesn't want to spoil his cute little life. He doesn't want to fuck his income and ruin the little cushy career that he's got a hold of. He doesn't want to do that. He wants other people to fuck up their lives and get thrown in jail or whatever else for him. He wants other people to be
very well said behind the
Luigi
box.
or fucking what's his face, Aaron Bushnell or whoever else. And it's interesting that he said propagandists, because that might actually encompass the people that he's just spent the entire video calling genocide defenders.
It's actually pretty scary. It's legitimately pretty scary.
I just think it's
sorry, if you can understand how January 6th was
like
an incitement to
you're
violence
studying
from,
law, right?
despite him saying peacefully,
Yeah.
patriotically. If you
Or
can understand how
have you
that whole
have you
speech-
graduated, or are you getting?
Oh, look, I haven't graduated, unfortunately.
So, like, you understand, like, I don't know. I just think it, like, even sociologically, it's really interesting when we think about what if a particular law is being breached by so many people that it is no longer enforceable.
Actually, you know what's really interesting? I read something today like that, and it's by this guy called Aris Rusinos, and he's like a Greek guy who's in Britain, and he writes for Unheard, and he basically was talking about how, like, you know, he was talking. I thought it was a little bit cringe because he was a little bit sympathetic to Kneecap, which I thought, like, obviously I hate Kneecap and everything, but this was a really interesting article because basically what he was saying was the reason they got, basically his point was, like, in Northern Ireland, it's like technically illegal to, like, show like an IRA flag, do IRA graffiti, do all these like sectarian flags and shit like that. But people just do it so much, and so that the British law is just basically optional. It's not enforced. And he basically said, like, their problem was that they went to London and they did what they thought they could do in Northern Ireland, and then they got fucked. Like, read this, right?
No, no. You know what?
I think I have no sympathy for Kneecap at all. The only reason I'm bringing this up though is I think it's interesting, like, what he was talking about in terms of Northern Ireland, where he was basically like, the state just, like, can't even be bothered. Like, the state just doesn't even have the capacity to enforce those laws, because it basically says, like what is technically illegal can be safely ignored. Like,
yes, but let's just take, okay, like, firstly, I don't buy it. Right? I think it's important to try to rationalize, and I get it, and the falsification is important, but let's just imagine that let's just say I smoked weed all the time in Australia, even though I know it's, like, illegal to go down to Camperdown Park and smoke a joint. I still do it every couple. Let's just pretend I go and do that all the time, right? And then I go to Indonesia on holiday, and I'm used to just breaking a law here, and I go over there and I break the law, and then someone on the internet's like, oh, but he's used to breaking that law where he's from. Like, no, these guys actually displayed a Hezbollah flag you know. And if you haven't ever typed Hezbollah into Wikipedia, right? I just don't buy it. They're fucking
Yeah, no.
monks.
Look, I agree with you. I don't actually necessarily agree with his argument. I've got zero sympathy for kneecap. I think it's good that they got thing. I just thought it was interesting, this part where he basically was like, such is the nature of Northern Ireland, the British state's hold on the province is so tenuous that proscribed terrorist groups such as the UVF can openly parade without police interference. And it's like, wouldn't that be fucked if like that's basically our situation in Australia now? Like where it's like the state just seemingly can barely enforce the rules against like Hamas and Hezbollah flags and shit like that. That's fucking scary to me. I don't know. Do you think we're at that point?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think we've always been at that point. So I'll think about it from the other way. We were always there. People just didn't know it. You know, it's not like the laws have been pushed to a limitation that are no longer unenforceable. They already were unenforceable. They just weren't being, you know?
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, so that's...
It's pretty disturbing though, like how the authority of the state has seemingly broken down pretty completely when it comes to these sectarian rallies. Did you see this one? Like this got 350,000 views, 4,000 likes, and like look at this, like they're making a Chad meme out of it. And then look at how fucking look how Nazi this is. He's putting like the kippa on like Bernie and AOC and Kamala, saying that, and look, he put the swastika on the kippa. That's sick, dude.
Yeah, Holocaust inversion. Holocaust inversion is one of the central pillars that hold up all of this anti-Semitism.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a sick thing. Look at this
if
comment.
You can make someone out to be worse than the perpetrator against them, then you know.
Then you can technically do anything to them. That's the whole idea, right?
And you erase the Holocaust. You erase how Israel came to happen in the first place. You erase everything that brought us to this point, and then you retroactively make everything the fault of those who are the victims of that original force.
Have you? I'm not sure if you would have heard of this, Josh, because this is a Brisbane thing. But check this out, right? It's actually fucked up. This was a Green senator. No, sorry, not Green senator. She was a Greens councillor in Brisbane. And she paid for this like flyer to go out. She used Brisbane City Council funds to get this flyer out to all her local things. Oh, you would have said,
I've seen this,
dude.
Yeah.
Look how fucking mental this is. So look at their timeline, right? It doesn't even mention the Holocaust. Like, how fucking insane is this timeline? The Ottoman Empire control. The Christians, Jews, and Muslims live together in peace. Are you fucking kidding me? And then, dude, British colonial mandate in Palestine, and then 1948, the Nakba, just pretends that the Holocaust never happened. What the fuck, dude? That's sick. And then look at the timeline. And then the Israeli occupation of West Bank and Gaza, the first Intifada, the Oslo Accords, the second Intifada, Israeli siege on Gaza, the Unity Intifada, Israeli genocide in Gaza, Palestine history. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck is this timeline? How unhinged is that?
Yeah, it sounds like they also don't understand what the Nakba was either. They seem to think that the Nakba is like this. The Nakba, which means, like, as you know, catastrophe, was named by a guy called Konstantin Zurich, and it was a word that was used to describe the abysmal military failure against the Israelis, right? So the military campaign that eventuated in not being able to push the Jews out was the catastrophe.
Look at that, Zionist European militias.
Yeah, okay, very well done.
It's just like so convenient that they just like leave out the fact that like if they had been successful in 1947, 1948, like they would have genocided Holocaust survivors in Israel.
Yeah.
Like that's what they wanted to do. Like there was all this propaganda, we're going to push the Jews into the sea.
Yep.
And I can't get over this timeline though. Can you guys imagine, right? This was Brisbane City Council taxpayer funding in my city of Brisbane. And they sent this out to like 30,000 people. And this is the retarded, look how crazy this is. The Jews lived together in peace as fucking dhimmis under the Ottomans. And then the timeline, just the Holocaust never happens. Like, what the fuck, dude? What the actual fuck? There's not a... How could you even make that timeline with a straight face?
I wish that...
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
mean, that's a sick thing to me. How could you do that with a straight face? That's impossible. You could not do that as a straight face. Even the biggest like pro-Israel supporter would have to acknowledge at least some, negative events within the history of the Palestinians, right? Like, for example, like Baruch Goldstein, the massacre, etc. Like in this timeline they've presented, though, this Palestinian narrative timeline, there's not a single terrorist attack against the Jews. There's not a single massacre. Nothing. It's just
this is important.
Like
right?
they're presenting it like they're getting attacked out of a vacuum, which is just so sick.
Well, it's important, right? So like you studied history, right?
This is the guy. They paid him $3,000, by the way. So it's $20,000 in Brisbane ratepayer funding, and then she paid $2,800 in ratepayer funds to academic Dr. Jamal Nabruzi to produce this 750-word article on the subject. 28 hours of work, $100 an hour, 26 words an hour.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
fucking nuts, eh? Actually,
I want
so
those
fucking
rates.
nuts. Mates rates, hey. It's mates rates because he's Palestinian. What the fuck, dude?
No, it's the opposite in my community. Mates rates is you do it for like $20 an hour, and it's a mitzvah, right? Like, it's just a thank you. Welcome. You've done one for the community.
How fucked up is that?
You studied history, right?
Yeah. I'm doing history at UQ.
Yeah, so like, you understand. I mean, I'm sure we both understand that like, reality is where history's taken us, and so the best way to warp reality at the moment is then obviously to warp history. And I often think about the possibility that, you know, we all have different realities. We all have different conceptions of what the world is like at the moment. And so therefore we must all have different and divergent conceptions of history. And what if those different conceptions of history were split onto different arcs operated by different camps? What if there was an entire camp of people who actually live in a different historical arc? We all inhabit the same space, inhabit the same world.
That's how it is. That's true.
But they live in a different historical arc, and therefore it's led them to this particular point, which is they live in an alternate reality to us.
Yeah, it literally is, dude. It literally is. Like, the way that they can see, like, that timeline actually is just like one of the most perfect examples, right? Like, I love how they actually just pretend that the Holocaust was not part of the founding of Israel. That's crazy to me. Like, how, dude? Even the biggest Palestine supporter like knows that the Holocaust was part of the founding of Israel. Like, just what the fuck? It's crazy. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I used to think that it was horrifying hearing people say, "Well, that's not our problem. Tell them to go away." Now it's kind of comforting because at least they acknowledge that it fucking happened.
Oh, dude, isn't it bad, eh? Oh, gee. Let's go through. Hang on, where's this other one? I wanted to I wanted to read these later. Might actually read that on the stream tomorrow. But yeah, this is what I wanted to bring up. This is what I wanted to bring up. Konstantin Zaria. I'm gonna look that up. Actually, let me put him on the screen. By the way, to the 29 people watching right now, thank you guys. Please leave a like so that YouTube will recommend us to more people. So Konstantin Zurek is credited with coining the term Nakba to refer to the Arab nations losing the war. So it's about losing the war. It's not necessarily about like ethnic cleansing per se.
Yeah, and in great detail, he talks about the humiliation. It's about the collective humiliation suffered as a result of losing the war, right? Instead of being like, "Oh, and Jordan is enough." To the Jews. Yeah, instead of being like, "Oh, Jordan is enough," right? It was like, "No, let's actually drive the Jews out entirely. They shouldn't have any state here at all." And the Nakba then was co-opted and turned into this propaganda campaign. And, you know, while on the one hand there were 750,000 Palestinians.
It's deployed in Holocaust inversion terms.
Yes, exactly right. Because the Shoah means...
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like...
Shoah.
So, yeah.
Shoah, is literally catastrophe in Hebrew. Yeah.
There we go. Right? Exactly. So it's the beginning of the narrative, the competition for grief. Your grief's bad. Well, look, we've just had one too. Your arrival is our Holocaust. Yeah. Right?
That's true. That's true. You know, and I think we've talked about this before, Josh, but like, have you seen some of the memes they sometimes make where they try and go like, oh, we accepted the Jews in during the Holocaust and look at how they stabbed us in the back and stuff. Like, I've seen memes like that get like 100K likes on Twitter. It's just crazy because like during the Holocaust, like the Palestinian nationalists were trying to prevent Jews from going to Palestine during the Holocaust, like literally during the Holocaust. So it's just literally like an alternative reality that we're talking about for these guys.
Yep.
Fucking hell, it's really sick. I was going to show. Let's quickly see this. Right, this was So this is Hassan.
I always say.
So Hassan Parker sits down with Bad Empanada.
I always say Bad Empanada and I don't disagree on our ultimate goals. We just disagree on methods. I always say.
Yeah. So we don't agree. We don't disagree on ultimate goals. We just disagree on methods. And then check this out. This is Bad Empanada. This is what he's talking about. His ultimate goal. Go out, get a gun. It's really easy in your country. Those who enable this genocide have names and addresses. So Hassan presumably agrees deep down with killing people. Like, you know, anybody that they deem to be guilty of genocide just must be immediately killed. And isn't it crazy? They become judge, jury, and executioner. They just decide this person's guilty of genocide. They're allowed to kill them. No moral rules apply to them. It's exactly like Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment. They just decide for themselves that they're supermen, they're Ubermensch, and therefore they can just decide their own morality.
Mm-hmm.
This is important, right? San does the live stream with Bad Empanada, 20,000 live viewers 3 days ago. And then, just look at all of Bad Empanada's many cases, many times where he's called for people in America to go out and kill people. It's very awesome that the USA allows you to buy weapons like this easily. They can be used very effectively. There's an act of genocide going on, which is receiving crucial backing. If you're an American, these people are within your reach. The US is one of the easiest countries in the world to get gun with. This is who Hassan Parker hosts on his stream. It's sick, dude. It's fully sick. And yeah, like Hassan literally.
Who are the people they're suggesting be shot?
I don't know, anybody that they decide to be a Zionist, I suppose. Seriously, which just is healthfully like most Jews, basically, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with King of Corinth. They're not liberals by any means. They would reject the term liberal, of course. They're red fascists. I honestly think the correct term for it is red fascism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a ship that came from Germany to Israel during the Holocaust. I believe Britain forced them to return to Germany. And there was an infamous example where there were Hungarian kids. It was like a kinder transport. And like Amin al-Husseini, who admits in his biography that Himmler told him about the Holocaust. After Himmler told him about the Holocaust, he wrote to the governments of like Hungary, wrote to the Nazi government and everything, and basically said, don't allow the transport of Jewish children into Palestine, turn them back, send them to Poland. And he knew that there were death camps in Poland.
Yep.
So it's like literally, like that makes him a complicit figure in the Holocaust. You know what's crazy? I debated this guy, History Speaks. Maybe you've seen him on Twitter, Josh. And he's like a PhD student at LSE, London School of Economics. And you know, he tries to present himself as like an intellectual critic. He would try to distinguish himself from like a Bad Empanada sort of thing. But we're discussing. And like when I mentioned that case where Amin al-Husseini had written to the Nazi government saying, turn the kids back, knowing that they would be sent to a death camp, right? He was going like, his response was, well, it's bad, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he was responsible for it because like they were basic, like, and that's like actually an argument that some of the anti-Zionists make. They go like, oh, well, like the Nazis would have killed the kids anyway. It's like, dude, what the fuck? So you think that means Amin al-Husseini is not guilty then? I don't understand that, right? Like if he wrote to the Nazi government, knowing that if they send them back, they're going to be killed in death camps, and he writes them saying, send them to the death camps. And then like the splitting hairs, the argument from the anti-Zionists to split hairs is like, well, we can't be sure for certain that it was his intervention that really did it. That's literally the argument. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's
mental.
That's something that a lawyer argues in the tort of negligence, right? Like that's something where you're like, let's find the break in the chain of causation in order to get this person out of it. It's not his fault he ran over the dog drunk.
I'll bring this up to you, right? It's on the Wikipedia page. For instance, so al-Husseini opposed all immigration of Jews to Palestine. During the war, he campaigned against the transfer of Jewish refugees to Palestine. No evidence has been forthcoming to show he was opposed to transferring Jews to countries outside of the Middle East. Al-Husseini's numerous letters appealing to various government authorities to prevent Jewish refugees from immigrating to Palestine have been republished and widely cited as documentary evidence of his participative support for the Nazi genocide. For instance, Husseini intervened in May 1943 before the meeting with Himmler when he was informed of the Holocaust with the German Foreign Office to block possible transports of Jews from Bulgaria, Hungary, and Romania to Palestine after reports reached him that 4,000 Jewish children accompanied by 500 adults had managed to reach Palestine. He asked the foreign minister to do his utmost to block all such proposals, and his request was complied with. And then, according to Zertel, none of the documents presented at Eichmann's trial proved that it was al-Husseini's interference in these acts of total It's like, that's the argument, right? Like, the argument is, well, we can't necessarily be sure that it was al-Husseini's interference per se. I mean, this is an Israeli new historian. He's not an anti-Zionist per se, but like that's the argument, though. I mean, he's an Israeli leftist. He's with Meretz and everything. His argument is like yeah, it's evil, but we can't be sure that it's fully his interference that did it. And it's like, are you kidding me? In June 1943,
we can't be sure that he we can't be sure. That's crazy, right? Into a child because he was drunk. Like, we don't know that it was because he was drunk, just because he drove that car into that child. He could have been distracted.
Yeah. So a year later, on July 1944, he wrote, and this is at this point, he writes in his biography that he's already aware of the Holocaust by this point. Himmler has informed him of it. A year later, in July 1944, he wrote to the Hungarian foreign minister to register his objection to the release of certificates for 900 Jewish children and 100 adults for transfer from Hungary, fearing they might end up in Palestine. He suggested that if such transfers of population were deemed necessary, that I ask your excellency to permit me to draw your attention to the necessity of preventing the Jews from leaving your country for Palestine. If there are reasons which make their removal necessary, it would be indispensable and infinitely preferable to send them to Poland, where he knows that there's death camps. How sick's that?
Yeah,
and then yeah, like the argument is basically like the best argument in his defense is, well, we're not sure that he was in particular the guy who like we can't be sure that Nazis actually listened to him. It might just be a coincidence that they killed them anyway. Like, that's sick, dude. That's actually mental.
I'm just trying to
make it actually does my head in, eh? Just like the lies literally just do my head in.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is a really important Bad Empanada moment. Watch this, right? I made a YouTube video. It got 10,000 views. This is from part of it. There is Amir Tibon, who is so this guy Amir Tibon. He was with his 2 infant children in a home on October 7th, surrounded by Hamas soldiers. They were trying to get in. Hamas terrorists were trying to get in, kill him and his family, kill him and his 2 infant babies. Right? Bad Empanada directly tagged him on Twitter and said, "You deserved it." Is an Israeli pro-peace activist, a very strong critic of Netanyahu. He's like literally a Haaretz writer, leftist. He's a writer for Haaretz. Now, he was a victim on October 7th. Basically, Amir Tibon, he spent the entirety of October 7th in a panic room with his infant children as Hamas militants stalked outside his home trying to kill them. Bad Empanada writes, "You are a colonial settler living next to the colonial frontier. You chose to live there in order to be a human shield for Israeli colonialism. You got your wish. I hope you get it again." How sick is that, dude? Like, and then watch this 60 minutes
shot and posted by Hamas show them shooting up the kibbutz, including this picture of them actually leaning on Amir and Miri's house.
They shot ammunition through the living room window, and we just heard that, and it sounded like they're inside the house.
What about these 2
babies?
Little girls. Weren't they screaming and crying?
Our girls are so brave, and we told them, girls,
I hate him so much.
Very sorry, but we have to keep quiet.
I think 8-9 hours that we're inside. No electricity, no food. 2 girls that are the biggest heroes in the world, keeping quiet.
I mean, how can you be more sick? This is an Israeli peace activist, a critic of Netanyahu. He writes for Haaretz. What did his babies do to deserve this? You know, Hamas militants, somebody who speaks. It just organs being like, that's who Sun Piker put on a show for 20,000 live viewers. That's just crazy. Just crazy, dude. We're in dark times, man. We're in very fucking dark times.
We're straddling 2 historical arcs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got 1 foot in each. But it might be bedtime for me.
Yeah, dude. I was actually gonna say I'm getting pretty tired too. Guys, I might head as well. But I'm gonna definitely stream tomorrow, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. If anybody has any like last minute comments or questions or anything, I'm happy to answer anything. But it's been a good stream. It's been a good stream. I'm pretty tired now.
Yeah, you guys
but
should
yeah,
subscribe
honestly,
to my channel.
Yeah, no,
Can I
actually, let
post
me
it?
put that up as well. I'll put that up as well for you, Josh. Where's
thank you.
your channel? Hang on, for normal people, right?
Yeah.
Can you send me the link over over WhatsApp or something like that?
Yeah.
So I've got someone saying make a Discord. I do have a Discord, guys. I'll send the Discord thing in the chat.
Just put
got
it
a
in
Discord.
WhatsApp. WhatsApp, or do you want me to
Yeah,
put it in the
okay.
chat?
Yeah. You send me it on WhatsApp. Yeah, guys. So I'm just letting the guys know, the people who are watching. I've put the comment up. That's the link to the Discord if you want to join. Yeah, voice for the centrists, of course. And then I'll get your YouTube link and I'll put it up, Josh, and I'll put it on the screen for a second. And I really will encourage everybody to go as well, because Josh is a good bloke. He's a friend of the show, of course. Let me get this up. Hang on.
And I've got a new video up that I put up yesterday.
Guys,
and it's just,
go and subscribe to Josh. Go and subscribe to Josh. I think I'm subscribed.
It's on the misinformation and how it's used it becomes an instrument of violence. So yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm you know what? I'll try watch it on the stream tomorrow.
Ooh.
Guys, I encourage you to go to Josh's YouTube, go to his Substack as well. He's got some great articles, great writing, great videos. I appreciate what you're trying to do, Josh, because we're in the same game here. We're trying to just do our small bit to influence the discourse away from fucking insane extremism.
100%.
All the centrists
man.
gotta come together.
Dude,
Man,
we're like it's a sane center. There fully is a sane center. It's just like we don't know how to organize, because many of us have been organizing, on different ends of the spectrum for quite a while, having eventually come together and gone, hold on a minute, like.
Yeah,
Everyone's
no, exactly. Dude. I agree with this guy. Like, we need to make the world sane again. Seriously. Like,
Hey, King of Corinth.
Did you see Kanye? He brought his choir out to P. Diddy's Hollywood Star, and they're all chanting Heil Hitler. Like, the world's gone fucking mental, dude. And yeah, dude, I agree with Twitter. The big problem is we're so small online. It's so hard because exactly as King of Corinth says, like the center's largely silent. So the hardest thing is that online we're just like fucking crushed. That's why I'm like trying so hard right now. I'm trying so hard because we're just getting. It's so hard. If you're someone with our kind of views online, we get drowned out, and it's fucking hard.
But like, there's actually, to be honest, like there's a good like podcast episode in that we could probably make at some point, which is just about how the algorithm deliberately discourages this type of conversation by overtly encouraging extremes. Right? Like we're not actually making people angry, or we're not making people want to stab each other. Yeah, we're trying to prevent
extremists, but
so if you're trying to prevent what the algorithm is trying to drum up, then obviously like we're kind of fucked.
You're against the algorithm.
We have the worst business model in town.
Yeah, dude, if you're going against the algorithm, it's fucking difficult. You're literally going to struggle. That's the hardest part, right? And I literally agree with Zerenthius. Like, it's legit. Like, if you wanted to be a full right-wing grifter, it'd be easy. Same with left-wing grifting. Like it's very hard if you want to be a fucking centrist. But yeah, listen, guys, we might call it a day today. But I salute everybody. Thank you so much. Remember, the fortress of righteousness is rising. Episode 40 in 40 days. When I started this, I said I'm going to stream every single day for 100 days. Who would have thought that I'd actually get to 40 in 40 days? There's been a couple of days that I've missed, but I've done double ups on some days, which is why I can get to 40 and 40. So I'm still, on the right way. But yeah, dude, 40 and 40. We're gonna get to 100 and 100 and keep on rising. Remember, everybody, protect the fortress of righteousness. We'll keep on going. And thanks, Josh, as well for joining. It's always so much better when I've got a guest and it's not just me talking to the void.
Good to be here.
Absolutely. Salute, lads. See you all. And oh shit, this is goated. Gifted 5 Drew Pavley memberships. Thank you, King of Corinth. You're a legend, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. We salute King of Corinth. He's literally one of our best chatters. Thank you, brothers. Thank you, Spectator, as well. Thank you to Vietran. Thank you, Spectator.
Add me on Instagram. I'm at 4.normal.people if you want to talk more about what you put in the chat.
At 4.normalpeople, right? I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I can't seem
Fuck
to
yeah,
post it.
dude, King of Corinth, thank you so much.
No.
for
So
the-
just four is in the word for.
Oh wait, right. Sorry. For
So it's-
normal, for dot normal people.
At 4.normal.people.
Oh, right.
Oh, hectic.
Hang on, I got it.
We're too tired, man. We're too tired.
Yeah.
Too tired to even
But,
self-promote what's happened to us.
But that's it. No. But again, thank you so much to everybody, and thank you, King of Corinth, for the memberships. That's fucking awesome. Thank you, King. Thank you to Viet Trend. Thank you to Zerentheus, Spectator, Snazzy Scott. Oh, Snazzy Scottman. I didn't see his comments before. Thanks for joining, man. Thank you, Josh, as well. Thanks, Chris, and Selin. Just going up and trying to SSWB Redux as well. Thank you everybody who was commenting. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Good stuff. All right. See you everybody. Peace.